Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Jamal Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. This is now episode 288. In this episode, we're going to talk about the share price given to Victor Wembanyama on Mojo, the Nuggets winning the NBA championship, try to rank Jamal Murray amongst top point guards, discuss what the Heat need to do to get over the hump, and much more. Shout out to everybody listening currently and or watching in the live stream. It's been a while since we've been live, but we needed to do it for this special occasion.
Of course.
Nuggets winning the NBA championship. We have the Jamal Murray right behind us.
If only we had the camera on John. The only guy here that
he's going bump crazy right now.
You really don't see John in this giddy of a mood unless the Nuggets are doing something relevant.
John, you want to come up here and talk your shit?
Not yet. He said, I'm gonna make him wait for
we
it.
We need to start having John turn on the lights when he's making videos.
God forbid he used a light when he recorded a video. The one that he posted after they won, where he's lying down and the lights are off.
It was hilarious.
Come on, John, I want to retweet this. I want to give this love, but I promise I could not do that if I could not see you.
He's
John.
definitely listening to Logic, right? Okay.
So looking at Patreon members right now, we're going to give them a shout out. Shout out to Big Chuck, Daniel, Jacob Adams, Nazir, Nick, Tanner, The Real ET, Vincent Munoz, Alex Viveros, Big Chief, Bogavelli, Cade MVP, Christian Flores, Dana, Darius Garland's next, David DeRizzo, Die Sometimes, Doug, Hikari, Hunter Osborne, Latif Love, Mbuz Najvera, P. Patrice Michelle, Pick a Side Meme, Santos, Professor X, Put Your Feet on the Phone, Riv Looks Like Dyson Daniels, Ryan Barcelona, The Goat, TJ Rose, Trendell Shorty, UK Bulge, YSN Phones, and then that's it for the top two tiers. If you want to get your name shouted on the show, you got to subscribe to at least one of the top two tiers. And if you just subscribe to the basic one, then you'll get access to our Discord. So you still got some.
You know what I thought it's funny? How we basically started rereading the names again because someone said they missed me saying good old Jay Aqua. And then what did Jay Aqua go and do? He goes and revokes his Patreon membership.
That's mad funny.
Jay Aqua, man.
I don't know if did he revoke it or is he just
he's just on the first tier now.
Do we just have to up him?
No. He doesn't need to get up. We could just no. I mean, in the sense like
I mean it.
He gets his name read regardless.
Okay,
I understand what you meant. We said the same thing. Correct.
I hear you.
So for everybody right now, make sure you guys click a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, and first thing on the board for today's show, Victor Wembanyama's Mojo stock price dropped.
Highly anticipated.
And listen, it might sound crazy, but we have to understand the context behind his price, right? LeBron James was the most hyped up prospect in the history of the NBA.
It's true.
Victor Wembanyama, at least in the last 30 plus years, is second to LeBron James. So right now he comes in at $296, which is the 10th highest price among NBA players. He is lower than LeBron, KD, Jokic, Giannis, Curry, Luka, Tatum, Harden, and Chris Paul. And he's higher than Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Russell Westbrook, Dame, and Jimmy Butler.
High expectations.
Very high expectations.
You know what we should do one day? We should go back in drafts and try to guess what those dudes' stock prices would be if Mojo was there at the time. Like
that's interesting.
Guys.
Okay.
Don't they have their original price when they start? Or no?
For NBA, no. It only has it until they launch.
Like, what would have been Zion's price?
Probably would have been not the same, maybe a couple dollars less.
It would have been pretty nasty.
Yeah, to be over Devin Booker, to be over Anthony Davis, and to be over the MVP, the guy who just finished MVP second in MVP 2 years in a row. If you want to say fraudulent, that's up to you. But of course, we understand that he gets to the playoffs. Something happens to his voodoo doll. He gets injured almost immediately. It's unfortunate, but again, a guy who has an MVP, 2 times runner-up to the MVP, and to be priced higher than he is So essentially, we're already signing up. Victor Wembanyama, guaranteed, will be an MVP. Victor Wembanyama will be a prolific playoff performer, or will at least be better than what Joel Embiid has put forth in the playoffs. Will be better than. Will be better. That's not
starting early.
Listen, hey, not a crazy statement. Again, he gets to the playoffs, he gets injured. It's an unfortunate situation. Devin Booker, a guy who has made a big name for himself recently because of how well he's played
Only made it like
in the
2-3
playoffs.
times.
Anthony Davis, an NBA champion, one of the best defenders at the big man position. You're essentially saying Victor will be already the expectations that he's going to be better than them. And I get it because of the prospect that he is. I believe in the height of Victor Wembanyama. But again, it makes it hard for me, someone who wants to invest money. I can't look at Victor and think that this is a guy I want to bank on, because then the only way that he can get higher into the only way I can justify investing into Victor is if he reaches the same price as a LeBron James, who's what, 500?
He's like 150 more than the
How many All NBA teams does D-Book have?
I guess so.
One?
I'm gonna guess one.
How many All-Star games? Three. So 1 All-NBA, 3 All-Star games. Can Victor
no, listen, I agree with that, but also we just have to recognize how great Devin Booker has played in the playoffs when he's got, except last year, right, against the
But
Mavericks.
he's only went, 2-3 times out of in his 6-year career? Not mainly
this
his
run
fault,
was insane. Year one, he dropped 240 balls in the finals. Was amazing, easily their best player.
I think
he averaged 34 this.
Yeah, I think the people under him, like Devin Booker is gonna probably end up being an all-time great. AD, same thing. Joel Embiid, yeah, but the people in front of him make sense. You know, those are champions, actual MVP people.
Tatum's not.
Tatum was in front of him.
Yes.
Tatum's in front of him, but Tatum has more All-Stars than the guys below.
He's been to the ECF damn near every other year.
First-time All-NBA.
Because the share price is Victor Wembanyama's entire share price is made up of future projection, of course. Luka right now is at $350. That's his share price. Victor's at $298. If you believe that Victor can be like that, then I think it is a worthy investment. But I feel like, given the fact that we have not seen a player of Victor's size have a long NBA career, I think the odds of him not panning out to that expectation are greater than the odds that he does pan out. I don't think it's crazy to have him over some of these guys, though, because Devin Booker, from an accolade standpoint, and just like Mojo's share price, I think is made up of a lot of stats as well.
Yeah.
I think that Devin Booker, he's not an analytics darling. Like, outside of this year, we've been talking about Chris Paul being the most important player for the Suns the last 2 previous years. Anthony Davis has yet to win a DPOY. He's an injury-prone player. Joel Embiid missed his first 2 NBA seasons, which is huge. Like, if Victor Wembanyama wins Rookie of the Year, he's already on track to be better than Embiid.
But again,
but Embiid also just won an MVP.
Exactly.
I know, but he missed his
back-to-back
first 2
MVP.
seasons.
He's also never been to an Eastern Conference Finals.
This is also true.
Here's the thing: Giannis does have the championship, so that also just puts him at a different
So would
trajectory,
you short him if you don't think he's going to reach this value? Would you short him?
I mean, he's an anomaly.
I believe
It's
in
tough.
Victor. It's just one of those that I look at, and it's not an investment I want to make.
Yeah, we all love Victor, but
I wouldn't short him.
you're banking a lot on that upside. You need him to boom because
It's gambling.
you're putting up. He's
You
the
are.
10th highest, right?
That's what this is. This
You're
is
90.
You have to gamble.
I mean,
what are the Spurs
you're
doing?
the Ann Edwards truther. He's above Ann Edwards. Who would you rather invest in?
Oh, of course. I'm investing in Anthony Edwards before I do in Victor Wembanyama. But also, we have to recognize that Victor Wembanyama's stock would only go higher if he comes in and wins Rookie of the Year off the bat.
Which he can.
I think the odds for that are likely.
I mean,
he's actually the favorite.
favorite.
And what was it on?
Chet is a sleeper to win it too. Not even being funny.
No, they put the field. They didn't even put other people.
What were
They
the
put
odds?
it was the field is plus 176.
What was Victor?
Minus one something.
I only
I'm
say
trying to
that
think off the top
because
of my
I
head.
think it's more of a possibility that we see the Thunder. They could be a top 6 seed potentially if they continue to progress. They need a big man. Probably will address it in this draft, but they get another draft pick this year with Chet Holmgren, who missed the entire 2022-2023 season.
points again.
Yeah, Victor's going to be putting up 20.
No,
and 8,
for sure.
and
Bro,
he could push it a playing game or something.
He probably should average 20 easy.
Yeah.
You just saw Paolo.
Even if
do
it's
it. He
like
definitely
17,
could.
18 on good efficiency, that's
Yeah.
like still really, really good.
Because he'll probably
With like a
average
block or
2
two.
blocks.
And
OD,
he's going to have the
OD,
highlights.
OD.
to do
Chet's
it,
going
and
to come
everyone's
in.
watching
His
him.
primary goal is just going to be to protect the
I was going to
rim,
say Chet's
play
going to
defense.
he
He's
could
not
average
playing a
1
role.
to 2 blocks.
Victor's going to
too.
be given the ball and saying, take over this
Yeah.
franchise.
Chet's just like, they already got their 3 scorers in front of him. And they got these other guys.
But Chet was also the number 2 draft pick. You're not just going to have him on the court and forget about him, make it a third option.
He's not going to be the third option.
He's a defensive dynamo.
You're saying Chet Holmgren.
Chet is not going to be the third option.
What number do you think he's going to be? What,
Like
4 or 5?
4th or 5th, yeah.
See, but that's the thing. He was the number 2 overall pick. You can't do that for him.
He was a defensive specialist. Even in Gonzaga, he was like the 4th, 5th option.
Yeah, Chet to me,
the 4th, 5th option.
He wasn't a top option. It was Timmy was there.
Andrew
Nemhard wasn't.
Strother was there. Wasn't he not?
Strother was there. Yeah. Somebody else too, I forgot. But
did he get drafted by the Wizards? Was that Kisper, or am I thinking of somebody else?
Kisper did get drafted by the Wizards, but I don't know if that was he rookie last year? Kisper was over.
No, Kisper was not a rookie last year.
No,
2 years ago.
He was with Suggs, right? He's with Suggs. Okay, they got J-Dub, SGA, Giddey, easily. They're definitely in front of Chet.
Chet is a player whose his rookie year he's going to average 12 to 14 a game.
Yeah, no wrong with that. But defense is where he's.
That's where they need him because that's their flaw right now. That is their flaw. These are the share prices of former number 1 overall picks. Paolo Banchero right now is 213. Cade Cunningham is 158. The injuries, that's the reason why his price is lowered. Anthony Edwards is 260. Zion is 148.
That could be a steal.
What?
That could be a steal.
Cade.
148 is comically low. Okay, and when he plays, he's better than your boy Cade. Give me how many every boy that you have other than Steph Curry, and I'll give you Paul George. He's better than.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't play.
So between Paolo and Zion, who would you rather have?
Paolo and Zion, but for that price, I'm investing in Zion.
Paolo's 213.
I'll probably invest in Zion.
Also, rookie year, Zion looked better than Paolo did, even though Paolo was great.
You did 20 games,
and he was better. But
in those
20 games.
Paolo, what are we doing?
And then all the year after, he was 27 on 60%.
And then the year after, he played 20 games.
Yes.
This is the problem. Do you not
Zion?
see
And when he played, his team was number 1 in the Western Conference.
Yeah, for 25 games.
Why are you hating on Zion?
I'm not hating. He doesn't play.
You are.
What do you mean?
You are hating on him.
He doesn't play.
When he plays, you have to acknowledge he's amazing.
I do, but
I don't know,
doesn't play.
You bank too much on this. He doesn't play nonsense.
No, it's
for
a
me.
fact that he.
Joel Embiid didn't play for the first 2 seasons. Now he's an MVP.
If he's going to miss half the season every year, his Mojo price is not going to be going up.
Paolo,
his price is going up regardless.
Would you rather bank on a player who has missed more than 75% of his games in the NBA?
Is it more than 75?
I think it is, yes.
75's high.
It's probably definitely more than 60%.
Shit, bro. If it's 75, that hurts.
He missed his entire third season.
Have you seen him for 75%
of his entire rookie season?
One more time.
Have you seen him for 75% of the time he's been here?
Well, I remember he played basically a full season.
30? Played 60 games.
62 out of 72.
Yeah.
Because it was a shortened season.
Dehls, you have a computer.
I do.
I'll do the math. Don't worry.
I want to see Zion's game log.
It's not great.
But
his stats, they're fucking incredible.
Yeah, no, his stats are incredible. The problem is it's not enough stats allocated to games
24
played.
games, 61, missed an entire season, and then 29.
He's played 46% of his games.
What are we doing?
All right, 75 was low. Okay. I'm just making 75 was
so
crazy.
So he played 20, played 60, missed a year, then played 20.
Yeah, the missing the year makes sense, bro. Yeah, it was a bad injury, man. You just got to make sure that he was okay.
Then he came in this year, got
injury,
hurt.
Right?
So let's rank these number 1 overall.
Like that?
I don't know. I just giggled. Let's rank these number 1 overall picks based on who we bank on in the future.
Okay.
Let's not add in Victor here just yet, unless you guys want.
No, we gotta. It's a Victor segment.
We're doing it with the share, including the share price, or just
including the share price.
Victor last.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so last 5 number 1 overall picks. Which one of these guys are you investing in? Let's rank them 1 through 5.
Okay.
I feel like
Cade or Zion should be 1 or 2.
No, number 1 should be Anthony Edwards.
I would put Ant. Yeah,
260.
I would rather take the chance on him going up than Cade and Zion's injuries.
Well, what then? If that's the case, then are we going to bank on Victor then? Because the price is already high.
How high can Ant get after 260? What, in the threes? I feel like Zion, if he's healthy, can go from 140 to the 3.
That's really why the investment is the best.
I think
it's
he's
140,
but Ant's not going to drop.
I don't disagree.
Zion could drop
when healthy, which I can understand. That is a
Zion
big
hurt ain't
mark.
dropping lower than 100.
Do you guys agree? Maybe Joel might not. That when healthy, Zion is the best player out of all these guys.
I don't know.
When healthy. All right, Anthony Edwards. Again, that's the one.
Him or
all right,
Ant.
agreed.
Yeah.
So at 140, he's $120 less. Again, I get it.
I'm with you.
The injury is a big question mark.
I'd have him
but he's 120 less than,
I'd have
that guy.
I would put Zion.
I don't want to put that much trust in my number 1 guy.
But this the thing is like
gambling is gambling.
You also have to.
I agree. No, but I'm with Riv here though. This is a gamble that yes, I get it. The injuries, but he's proven when he's on the court. There are very few in the league that are as good as him.
This is my counterpoint to that. I think right now the standpoint you guys are looking at it from is Zion has more boom potential, so you can get more return on your investment.
Come on, bro.
Gambling.
Aim for the moon.
Okay, I understand.
Aim for the stars.
I think
what are we doing
Edwards
here?
is a steady bet though.
I agree.
No,
And that's
yeah,
why-
you're going the
and
steady
for
route.
me,
He's gonna go up.
and that's why
Safe.
for me, between Edwards and Zion, you ask who the better player is. It's awfully close.
I agree.
It's a toss-up.
I agree.
And given Edwards' already developed jump shot, what he is defensively, I'm going Anthony Edwards.
Look,
So
I'm not saying
I
you're
am.
wrong for taking the steady route. I'm gonna take the gambling route. I'm gonna take the aim for the stars route, aim for the moon.
So your
route.
sure number one is Zion.
Yeah.
So this is just Mojo related, but if you were actually building a team, you're taking Zion first.
Oh no.
No, this is
What the fuck?
investment.
Mojo.
Yeah.
This guy's trying to
with
get
you.
us. What's wrong with him?
I'm with you. I'm still taking Ant.
I'm still
number
taking
one.
Ant, too.
I'm still taking Ant.
Nah,
first.
I would.
Now, if I'm
for the
building an NBA
price.
team, it's a lot
So,
different.
okay, so
Yeah,
than-
I'm understanding how this
Then
is going
Victor's
right
won.
now.
Then Victor's won.
Yeah, Victor's one.
Me and Dehls.
I'm taking Victor. I agree.
Moran.
Ant deserves the respect at
Yeah.
number 2.
Me and Dell's on the
Well, you
same
just told us he's
wavelength
never
right
played
now.
a game.
No, agree. But at
I'm
the
taking
10,
the
no, I'm
steady
saying in terms of who we take for the
Right.
future. And for price, no, he can't be one. Yo, my forearms keep cramping, bro. I cannot shake
Taking
it.
some water.
Maybe that's what it is, bro.
You need to man up.
Bro, I'll be honest, bro. I've been bending my arm and I start to spaz out and I have to put it down.
Since Dell's and I are on the same wavelength, we're gonna make this a 2-team thing. So
Okay.
we are on the same team here.
Okay.
So our first pick is Ant-Man. Your first pick is Zion.
Correct.
So with the second pick, who are you guys going with next?
Go in, man.
Yeah.
Amen or Vic?
I wouldn't
You
put-
still have Cade.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't
No,
put.
bro, you're losing me.
I wouldn't put Vic
Respectfully.
over Cade.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, Cade has been mid.
Cade hasn't played.
He was solid his rookie year. Was not that good to start this year. Got
Played
hurt.
10 games. He played 10 games.
But
bro.
was he good? Was he anywhere near the word good in those 10
Dog,
games?
it was
But
10
such a small
games.
I
sample.
agree with you, but he was not that great to
No,
start his rookie
wasn't.
season. Ended on
Finished
a
strong.
high.
He was hurt to start his rookie year.
Agreed. I agree. But then this year, of course, the unfortunateness. And then now you have to worry about the injury too.
What's Victor's pricing? I'll put Ant at 2.
298.
I do have Ant at 2.
I agree. Ant's 2 for us.
298.
It's high.
I think Cade can go from 1. What was he at?
So you have Zion and Ant.
Yeah.
That's your first 2.
Zion
picks.
and Ant are
Who-
1
who
and
should we
2.
go with?
I
next?
think I would go Zion too.
Zion next.
I think I would.
Oh my
His
You
price
used to be a
is- his
Zion
price
guy,
is
man.
so
What
low
happened to you?
That he could just have
I am a
one
Zion
good
guy.
year and
Used
that
to
price
be.
could go up, and
You're
then we
done.
could cash out before he gets hurt again.
What's
Well,
Cade?
it's
What's Cade's
between-
price?
It's between Zion, Cade, Paulo, and Vic.
Yeah.
That's what it's between.
What's
Okay,
Paulo's
I'll take
price?
Zion. I
Zion,
think Zion's fine. Yeah, okay.
What's Paulo's price?
Paulo's
Depends.
213.
Yeah, he's definitely. I'm taking Paolo before I'm taking Cade.
Lost me.
Bro,
I think you can make more money with a Cade. He's low right now.
I get where you're coming from
Very
in terms
low.
of boom.
As a prospect
potential.
coming out, who was better, Paulo or Cade? In your opinion?
I feel it. Is it Cade?
Is
Is it
They
Cade?
were so fucking good.
Because of the
Cade.
versatility, it was Cade.
It was Cade, but Boncaro was so fucking
Now he was
good.
OD, bro.
Yeah,
I
but it
mean,
was
just
Cade.
think about it. He was facing double and triple teams, and he was still averaging 20. The efficiency was not it,
Yeah.
but he still was doing his
It's
thing
Cade.
this
It's
year.
Cade about a little bit. It's
As
Cade.
the better prospect.
Yeah, coming out as a better
Correct.
prospect.
Correct.
Yeah, it was Cade about a little bit.
Third pick, I want to go Victor here.
Victor, so we're taking him over Cade and Paulo.
Definitely.
Okay.
I agree with that personally.
I don't. So I guess this is where we part ways.
We're done.
So what's your fourth pick then?
Fourth pick would be.
No,
So
he's
your
going
third
3
is
is
Cade?
Cade.
Third is
Cade.
Cade. What's his
This is-
pricing?
this is my guy.
What's his price?
Cade is 158.
I think he can get to like
Good
260,
price, bro,
270,
but I'm
bro.
worried.
Listen,
I'm worried. I'm
if
starting
you-
to fade.
If you
It's a
took, like,
shame.
wait, that's no, because if you not worried about Zion, you should be worried about Cade.
Zion's way better than Cade.
He is way better.
Way
He's
better.
also missed significantly more
I'm
time.
not listen,
by
I'm not
far.
disagreeing with you. The injury, I'm with you. That's not my main concern with Cade.
Oh, then I don't know what your issue is.
I look at this guy. Paolo is safer.
Oh no,
he's still
yeah,
great
I would go
in his
Cade
own right.
3. I would go. Boncaro,
It's
like
Victor
4,
Paolo Cade, in my
and I
opinion.
go
So
Victor 5.
you're going Victor 5.
Mm.
So who are we going with 4 and 5?
I would go.
Because now it's between Paulo and Cade.
I would go Paulo, then Cade.
Agreed.
I would have Cade.
So
last.
our only difference, we're on the same team here.
It was
No,
just
it's
Zion.
Zion and
Yeah,
Ant.
facts.
I agree with his order, but I think I'd put Cade over Paulo, given the upside of the price.
I understand where you're coming from.
I do.
I could level there. but
I'm
I'll
just going
stick
up
with mine.
upside of the price, baby. I need.
we know.
Yeah, I need my cheese.
Your brain's in the right spot.
Well, I don't like in a vacuum. Cade or Boncaro. That's like
It's a coin
toss
flip.
up.
It is.
That's a toss up.
But
Give me the guy
Paolo
something.
rookie year was pretty damn great.
He was also really fucking efficient.
But again,
same with Cade.
He was facing.
And you said Cade was also
for
okay.
Sure.
See,
I said for sure
because Cade had the same issues.
More?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
No, yes.
He didn't face more.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe there's a percentage for that.
No, he did. He was top 10 in the league in double team as a rookie. Boncaro was not that.
Okay, let's see. Let's see.
Yeah. Like he watched Pistons games.
Oh, listen, I'm not saying that, but you're telling me that he was top 10, so I'll look for Apollo.
Yeah. Cade was top 10. I don't know what Apollo's is off the top of my head. Maybe it's more. I'm not sure. I wouldn't bet on it being more, though.
Yeah, both good players.
Possessions double team per game. That's the stat, correct?
Sounds right.
Sounds about right?
Now, the best 7-footers ever, according to Mojo, finished with these prices. Shaq, 352. Dirk, 332. Hakeem, 331. KG, 315. David Robinson, 264. And Patrick Ewing, 254.
Shaq, 350 what?
52. Shaq is 1. Dirk is 2. Hakeem is 3. KG is 4.
So is he going to? This is the thing that's
Shaq being 20 points higher.
He's only $50 away from Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, I don't know.
So Paolo is going to be a top 10 player all time or top whatever you have Shaquille O'Neal. That's what I'm saying. That's why this price is kind of nuts.
Shaq should be in the 400s.
Yeah,
his peak is nasty business.
Like LeBron James is arguably the best, second best, whoever's opinion that is.
Do they have Michael Jordan's price up there just randomly?
They probably do have Tatum at 330 and Luka at 350. That's already just as much as Shaq.
Luka's as much as Shaquille O'Neal.
That Shaquille O'Neal ended with.
Correct.
Remember Shaq? You got to remember Shaq's back end.
Because it's not. It's also not their peak price.
That's what I'm wondering. What is their peak price?
Was nasty.
But Luka's
that's
likely
fair.
going to
That's
go
a fair
up.
point. I agree.
Shaq, on the back end of his career, going to Cleveland, Boston.
Luka's longevity is going to clear Shaq's.
Yeah,
like their longevity is going to. Even Tatum's longevity might clear Shaq's.
Probably will. I mean, yeah.
But if we go peak value, peak value probably be up there with LeBron's, like 500, 450.
And also, we have to also keep in mind that. Well, if you place money in any of these guys, you can cash out whenever you want to.
Facts.
So after they have a great season, if you don't believe in them the next year for whatever reason, you can cash out whenever you want.
Cash in on Zion, make your money, and then cash out.
If he comes up this year and averages 28 again, play 60 games, you're like, all right.
Yes, sir.
I ain't even finna play like this no more.
So now a lot of the questions that we get from Mojo.
LeBron highlights.
John? He's probably just watching the best.
He's watching 1 hour of LeBron James and the Joker passing highlights.
Yo, you're sick, John.
So a common question we get with Mojo is, one, is it legit? Yes, it is legit.
Sure.
It's backed by the New Jersey's gambling division. It has a bunch of licenses. It's only available in New Jersey currently to invest your money in, but they're coming out with the DFS portion of the app, and that'll be available in August, and they'll release it to 30 different states, which means that a lot of you guys will be able to download Mojo. And even now, it's more than just gambling on players in an investment way or in a stock price way. You can do money lines. They have player props. With baseball, they have home run props and bases hits props. They have a lot of different props. So hopefully when they come to different states for DFS in August, a lot of you guys can download it. But this is Victor Wembanyama's stock price. 10th highest currently in the NBA.
They don't have anyone else. They don't have Scoot or anyone, right? They just got Vic for now.
Not yet. They don't have
next week, let's get to it.
They should have the other ones next week.
What do you think Scoot's going to be at?
I think he'll be like at 150.
I was going to say
150, 160.
Damn, that
he has to be under.
That difference is nuts. Paolo at 213, so he'd be around. I mean, 150.
He'd probably
is
be around
low. 150.
Paolo.
I mean, 150 is like DeJounte, Jared Allen. He'll be above that.
So he'll be around Paolo.
Yeah, 213. That's like Jaws around there. Mobley, Kyrie.
Makes
that
sense.
Feels right.
And if you are in New Jersey, you can use code PickASideMojo for a deposit bonus when you use the Mojo app. Let's go on to the next segment.
We got a new discount code?
PickASide Mojo. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not PickASide 100 because they're not giving $100 deposit bonus. It's just they're giving you a percentage of what you deposit bonus. I think it is. That's what it is right now. The Nuggets won the championship.
Yes, sir.
Clap it up for them. Clap it up for them. New champion.
We're going to have a bunch of different subtopics within this topic. We have 4 total topics for this show, but there's going to be a lot of long discussions for each one. I'm not sure if John is coming up to the stage or not to say his piece about the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, yeah. Speak his piece. Speak your piece, John Ski. I don't know. So you have a piece.
John is wearing the Nikola Jokic jersey right now.
So, as I said in January,
talking to the mic.
I was just showing the jersey. The Denver Nuggets are winning the championship this year.
Why the hell are you staring at me?
You want headphones for yourself?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
You got a little monologue coming.
20 minutes.
Pardon me. I think there's a beauty to winning a championship in sports. And as Riv geeks out over here, because none of his 10 teams, of course, were
Zing!
this year in the finals.
Congrats, bro. You see one ring in 19 years. Congrats.
20 years.
Bro, your birthday just passed?
It did.
Oh.
When's your birthday, John?
The day the NBA was founded, June 6th.
You wasn't going to say anything next.
I think. I don't know.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, John.
That's a
Guy
great
said
birthday
20.
gift.
I'm just like, wait, bro's been 19 for like 7 years. Get the hell out of here.
The Denver Nuggets, since 2018, have always been overlooked and kind of discounted in some ways. 5 years ago, in the 82nd game of the season, Jimmy Butler comes back off a torn meniscus, and the Denver Nuggets and the T-Wolves are tied for the best record, the 8th best record in the Western Conference. And Minnesota won that game. I remember at the time, Nikola Jokic, I think he led the fourth quarter in points. There was a passing vision and a selflessness to Jokic that always stood out. But even then, it wasn't up until the bubble that people actually started to pay attention to the Nuggets. They were forced to. In 2019, they go from the 25th ranked defense to 10th in 1 year with the integrations of Torrey Craig. Paul Millsap was a great signing for them. And then in that season, they go to 7 games versus the Portland Trail Blazers in the second round. And no one really cared because in those years, it was all about the dynasty, the Golden State Warriors. And it's like, whoever wins this series is going to get their ass kicked. And surely the Portland Trail Blazers did. And then, of course, the Nuggets at the 2021 trade deadline made a very big move. For them, at least, they thought they found the missing piece. The most, I think, the perfect utility Swiss Army knife for in the league now, Aaron Gordon, who for years in Orlando held down Nikola Vucevic. He was even disrespected. I think a lot of Magic fans are sick and tired of AG. They want to get rid of him. And they win 8 of the first 9 games with him in the lineup. Then Jamal Murray on April 12th, 2021,
against the
tears
Warriors.
ACL against the Warriors, 50 seconds left in a game that was already decided. And the amount of bullshit that I heard following from many different people out there that then took it and used that against Nikola Jokic, that after Jamal Murray tears ACL, he goes and won again. They win 8 of their next 9 games without Murray. They then go into the playoffs, and with a rotation of Facu Campazzo, Austin Rivers, Marcus Howard, great college player, phenomenal, and Monte Morris is backcourt. He outplays Dame, Norman Powell, CJ McCollum. He batters Yusuf Nurkic into a pulp, averaging 35 points per game. But because he couldn't beat the Phoenix Suns in the second round, all people wanted to do was focus on, oh shit, remember? And he actually got really pissed in frustration foul campaign. And they overlooked the Nuggets played awesome without Murray in the lineup in the regular season. But we all knew at the end of the day, the Nuggets' ceiling was dependent on Jamal coming back into the lineup. So last year, the Nuggets built off of that by playing at a 52-win pace without Murray. 52-win pace. Talk about holding it down. Jokic without Michael Porter Jr. in almost all those games was incredible. And all people want to talk about is, well, he hasn't finished well. Fucking kidding me? He's not a two-way player, Embiid is. Then in the playoffs, I remember going into the first round series I was a lukewarm Nugget fan at the time. I remember the Warriors just kicking the Nuggets' ass in games 1 and 2. And I'm like, oh my God, this series isn't going to go well. And then game 3 comes around. Jokic plays excellent. They lose by 5 points. I'm like, how can you be expected to win a playoff game when your top 2 rotation players, your top 2 reserves are Bryn Forbes and Austin Rivers? How can you compete with the Warriors when that's your top 2 bench players? The Nuggets then went on to lose game 5 by single digits. They almost pushed the Warriors to 6 games last year with a roster that without Jokic was probably one of, if not the worst in the NBA. But because of his presence alone, unlike Kevin Durant, he got a game, nearly 2 games. Shit, he could have taken it to 3. And you want to know what happened? All people want to do, because he lost, he got gentleman swept in the first round, to say, you know what? Nikola Jokic, he's one of the worst MVPs of all time. Just fucking Steve Nash. I mean, look at him. He hasn't won a championship. And I remember thinking to myself, you know, they did just come back from 2 separate 3-1 deficits 9 months ago when Murray was healthy. But you know what? We'll let them take the victory lap now. Then this last offseason comes around, right? And the Nuggets not only get back healthy Murray and Porter Jr., they add in Bruce Brown, Brucey B, and KCP. They get Christian Brown. Talk about a winner.
Brucey B.
And you want to know what they do? They run through the Western Conference so hard, they punt the last month of the season, still finish with 54, 53 wins, and they move into the playoffs, and none of the talk is about them. Why would it be? Get the Lakers, Shout out to them. They had an awesome turnaround. Austin Reeves is playing fantastic. The Mavericks have this giant mess going on. They're, of course, a bigger storyline because why wouldn't they be? And then you've got the Warriors. Can they repeat? And no one talked about what if the Denver Nuggets do win a championship. I felt like all the discord was, okay, what happens when they don't make it to the conference finals? When KD and Devin Booker outplay them in the second round. It was like the NBA wasn't ready for the Nuggets to just completely run through the Western Conference. They won fucking 16 games, 4 losses, the 5th best playoff record ever. You look at every single dynasty in NBA history, all of them at some point had a playoff run where they won 16 games and they only lost 4, only lost 3. You're talking the 01 Warriors, the 2017 Warriors, 01 Lakers, 96 Bulls, and the 1999 Spurs, or I think it was 07 Spurs.
07.
Yeah, it was 07. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, it feels just like the beginning, but people are being forced to talk about Nikola Jokic and this Denver Nuggets team because they've been that great. They've been discounted and completely overlooked for 4 or 5 years, but now they're undeniable. And as a sports fan that appreciates an underdog story, I look at Michael Porter Jr., who was a top-ranked prospect, had to undergo 3 back surgeries by 24 years old. Didn't even know if he'd come back to the game. He wears this AFO, which virtually is to allow him to run and jump normally. It's a device used for patients that may have suffered a stroke or have nerve damage. He's playing NBA basketball with this metal brace. It's more of a splint that wraps around his ankle. I don't know how he plays with it. And yet this year you saw his maturity. You saw his evolution as a defender. Jamal Murray. I'm trying to pull up my notes the fucking training the man. Oh, it's your laptop. That's why. I'm a dumbass. I'm sorry, Dehls. I'm like, where's the fucking
Bro, I saw him minimize it, dude, and I'm just like, I wonder if he knows.
So Jamal Murray growing up, he's shooting in the Ontario Winds. He's got piping hot cups of tea on his calves.
Yeah, that's abuse.
And you wonder why he's cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wonder why he's
all right, John. Dropping the album.
I can't help but just laugh at the sheer ridiculous and the way they were recovered. And now the fact that all of the people, everyone that wanted to say, oh, well, he doesn't defend like Joel Embiid. Obviously, they're not going to win a championship. We're watching an all-time great player morph by showing, oh, no, we are the rare exception. Talk about the Nets. Their offense was so good in 2021. They could have won a championship, right, to overcome their inconsistent defense. Well, in the playoffs, like, no team defended the Miami Heat better than the Denver Nuggets even still. And at the end of the day, Nikola Jokic is showing they will whoever comes on after me, they're not topping this shit. I mean, appreciate this now at 28 years old because he could retire tomorrow and everyone's going to miss out on all-time peak. You got to appreciate this now because this is incredible. And the fact that everyone complains, they bitch and they moan about availability. Kawhi never plays. Oh my God, this star is so selfish. John Moran, he's all about himself. It's a parade in the city. He's not humble. Nikola Jokic is everything people look for in a superstar. I
like that straight, but all right.
I'm the John Morant fan. I think he's, it's not my opinion. I'm just projecting all the bullshit I've heard. If that is your perspective, then why don't you love Nikola Jokic? That's always been something that hasn't made much sense to me. He's the most down-to-earth, consistent, and true to himself superstar in the league. And so I appreciate you guys giving me the time, the opportunity.
That's all right. I'm fine with a long monologue because he ripped it.
It's just these hours.
That's a great monologue, and I think everything you said was facts. I think
this is the monologue I would have given if the Lakers would have won, so I can't be upset.
Not me.
Somebody has to do it.
This 1 hour of LeBron and Joker shit is killing me.
That shit is so funny.
Like, what are you doing?
You know what, though? Because John obviously left it on a high talking about how great Nikola Jokic was. Absolutely. This guy had 10 triple-doubles this postseason run, had 2 at least in every single playoff series, averaged 30, 14, 9.5 assists in this playoff run, was one of 8 players to have a PRA of over 50. I believe we're talking about Bill Russell, we're talking about Wilt Chamberlain, Dr. J, LeBron James. I want to say Elgin Baylor is also one of them, but only 3 players had won the NBA championship, and it's Bill Russell, it was Wilt Chamberlain, and Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic, I want to say, has the highest all-time PRA with 53. LeBron even had a lower PRA, and I believe it was around 52. Nikola Jokic was absolutely unbelievable, and something that I also want to highlight was how great his defense was in this NBA Finals as well. allowed, I believe, a defensive field goal percentage of under 40. I believe it was 38%, 39%. He was fantastic in all aspects of the game. He needs to be acknowledged. He needs the respect, and absolutely, I'm here to praise him because I was hesitant to give it to him for sure because I'm a Lakers guy. I see Anthony Davis, and I see when he's healthy. I saw the last time the two met up, Anthony Davis got the better of him, but that was years ago. And now it's a new time. Nikola Jokic is here. It's his reign, and he deserves the praise.
I think when you look at the Nuggets, John mentioned it. I didn't know the stat behind them going 16-4. That's the 5th best ever. The Denver Nuggets have the chance for this to keep going on.
Absolutely.
Because of their entire core is made up of players that are under 28 years old. They're all under contract. And even a player like Bruce Brown, who's so important to them, and I think they should bring him back, and I'd be surprised if they didn't, but I understand if he's overpriced himself based on his playoff run. Christian Brown is ready to step in and take major minutes next season. I think that Denver Nuggets fans are also very excited to see Payne Watson be implemented into the rotation and see what he can do. So Denver is on a pathway to maybe secure another championship run, and it is made up of a bunch of underdog stories. I think the thing, what encapsulates it the most is Jokic was a second-round pick. He's a 54th pick in the draft. He's the best second-round pick ever. He's arguably
the best draft pick of all time.
No doubt. When you take into account where he was drafted, he is the best draft pick ever. And at the time, Mike Malone, when he had Jokic as a rookie, was saying, I'll put Jokic up there with Kristaps Porzingis, with the rookie over there in Philly and Joel Embiid. I mean, he was super high on him. And I do love the fact that Denver won a championship because I think if you would have asked any NBA fan what player has the most to gain from winning the championship, I think it's quite easily Nikola Jokic, given he already has 2 MVPs. The fact that he didn't win his 3rd one this year was on the sole fact that he has not won a championship. They were penalizing him for that. But when you take the past 2 seasons into context and the injuries that the Denver Nuggets have suffered, there's been reasons as to why they haven't gone far. But every year that they've had a fully healthy squad, their healthy team, we're talking about their first time in the playoffs, they take Portland to 7, almost make the conference finals. The next year, they make the conference finals. Murray gets injured for 2 seasons, misses 2 playoffs, and now they win the finals. We're seeing this team every year when they're healthy, they keep elevating, and all these players have overcome adversity. And Jamal Murray, I know that we're going to rank him amongst top point guards. He's an anomaly because I understand that some may believe that it is recency bias to rank him highly, but his playoff resume is undeniable at this point. I mean, last year, we had a whole Knicks segment about Jalen Brunson. Mm-hmm. And I was making the argument to you guys that Jalen Brunson was going to be an all-star based off of 1 playoff run and 17 to 19 regular season games he started. Jamal Murray has played in 53 playoff games already, and he averages 25, 5, and 6.3 assists per game, basically 50, 40, 90. His PER jump from the regular season to the postseason is number 1 all time. His points per game jump from the regular season to the postseason is number 1 all time. I understand the regular season resume is not there, but the sample size in the playoffs is big enough to put him over players that rack up all-stars in regular season, and they also perform well in the playoffs. So I think Jamal Murray, the only knock right now is he's not a number 1 option because that's a Jokic. Mm-hmm. But given what Murray has done in the playoffs, I think it's safe to say that with this sample size, this is the player he is. The player he is not the regular season one. It's this guy is the player he is, and he's the one who shows up when it's the biggest moment.
Got a doubt. This is a great season for the Nuggets. Do you want to go, Riff? Sorry.
No, I was chilling. Everybody had been saying something nice, so I was chilling.
No, I mean, it was great. I was, without a doubt, rooting for the Nuggets. There was not a bone in my body. And you know what? First of all, proud of you for just giving the Nuggets praise. No Heat slander. No Jimmy Butler slander.
We'll talk about that later.
That's growth, though. That's growth for sure. But I think more than anything, we always get caught up in the super teams and guys getting traded in free agency and all of the moves that go around the NBA. And outside of LeBron, who is like a one-of-one type guy, it really is the teams that have the continuity. It is the teams that stick together year in and year out that either make the finals or end up winning the finals. I mean, we could talk about the Nets team that had the most talent of all time, but we saw how quickly that got blown up. We saw the Suns team this year get Kevin Durant. I was one of them saying I think they could go to the finals. We saw in the second round they lost to this exact Nuggets team. So you have Jokic, who obviously second round pick, underdog story like we're talking about. And even still, even after the MVPs, after he solidified himself as one of the best players in the league, this year even, people were not so sure if they could win a championship with him being your best player. There were still those questions even after winning the MVPs. And you have the questions around Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., who have both missed multiple seasons, obviously not back-to-back for Michael Porter, but for Jamal Murray with his torn ACL, obviously MPJ with his back injuries. And even this season, John alluded to it earlier, in March and April, they were 9-10 to close out the season. I remember we were having this conversation about Boston when they were slipping towards the end of the season, and kind of talking about, does that have an impact on, down the road in the playoffs? The Celtics did for the Nuggets, obviously didn't. They went 16-4 to close out the playoffs. And I think in the last 20, 30 years, they had the 5th best record in the NBA, go on to win the finals. So not only did this team win the championship, and Joel talked about kind of, their future too, but their core, which Mike Malone talked about, is a team that can win multiple championships. You have Jokic, who's 28 in his prime, signed through 2028. Jamal Murray's 26 years old, signed through 2025. MPJ's 24 years old, signed through 2027. And even the key role players, Christian Brown, who, came on the scene, especially in this finals, played out of his mind, only 22 years old, still on his rookie deal, making like $2 million till 2026. Aaron Gordon, 27, signed through next season, player option 2025. KCP signed through next year, team option 2025. Bruce Brown's really the only person in this rotation who's going to be a free agent this season. And he said at the press conference he definitely wants to come back to Denver. Why wouldn't you? This is a perfect team. He was a perfect fit. And I think it just goes to show, I think this is great for the NBA that they keep having, outside, like I said, LeBron, they keep having teams who have stuck together. And I know Kevin Durant did it too, but the Warriors won with him, before him and after him. I think it really helps the NBA that the superstar mobility helps the entertainment factor of it, but the champions still end up being the teams with the most continuity.
And I think, and Joel mentioned it, if Bruce Brown does leave, if he does unfortunately leave, Christian Brown is ready to step up. I think he's the guy that's ready to step up. You putting Peyton Watson in that Christian Brown role that he was already in. Let those guys develop. They're young enough. They're good enough. Toronto Raptors, Milwaukee Bucks, Denver Nuggets. Since 2019, we've had 3 new franchises win a ring. I think that's amazing for the NBA. I think it brings new parity, brings new excitement. We pretty much have a new, I want to say, we have a new powerhouse in the West. And I think that's really, really dope for the West. It's somebody new, somebody different, with Jamal, with the Joker, with Michael Porter Jr. They played amazing. The Joker was elite defensively all postseason, and that's what you wanted to see out of him. He was great on both ends. Michael Porter Jr. showed strides as a really great defender in this postseason. That's also what you wanted to see from him. Aaron Gordon pretty much did what Andrew Wiggins did for the Golden State Warriors last year. He was that guy for them every night on the defensive and offensively. He gave you what you wanted him to give you. And if you needed him to step up, he was there for you. So I think that was great for them. They needed that fourth guy at times to just step up and do his thing. This is a great year for Denver. They've from start to finish, they were amazing. And you got to give them credit. You especially got to give the Joker credit because of all the disrespect he was getting this year from outside media and all the noise from guys who just didn't like him at all. And I don't want to, continue to keep repeating what you guys have said, but this was nonetheless a great season for Denver. And the NBA season is over, so we can finally just accept the fact that they won. And we feel excited for them because this is a new champion. That's what we were. It's funny because we were all praying for this. Like, we wanted to see new champions, and now we finally got one. I'm glad it's the Joker.
I love seeing new champions. I do. I like it when we have different teams winning.
Me personally, I would have liked to see somebody else win. However, I'm happy for Jokic.
Boston is so due.
I don't know if Boston.
You've been due for 20. Never mind.
We're due.
There are 10 teams that have not won an NBA championship.
Here we go.
The Brooklyn Nets, Charlotte Hornets, Pacers, Clippers, Grizzlies, Utah, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Magic, the Suns, and the Jazz.
Yep.
Which
Clippers
team is the next one to win a championship?
Clippers are due.
The team on this list is the Suns. It has to be.
Clippers are due.
How about the Thunder?
That would be cool too.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't mind any of them, honestly.
No.
I really
the Suns
wouldn't
are the
mind
closest
Who
ones.
said Magic?
To winning the
Someone
next
was
one.
real and said the Magic?
Nobody
No?
actually at all.
I thought
Not
I
even
knew you guys said
close.
the Magic.
Maybe it could be you.
Thunder and the Magic. Those are the
No,
two spots I
all
rock
trolling
for.
aside, it's probably the Suns. Then I'll probably put the Clippers.
Depending on what the Clippers do this offseason.
Clippers are cooked.
No, they'll probably bring everybody back. They have Jerry West talked about it in the PG podcast. They have like this injury voodoo, and they just continue to get hurt. It's really mind-boggling. Probably the Suns though.
I mean, their players are also not the healthiest all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty business.
Looking at Denver's run and seeing how Phoenix played them, it gives you some optimism. They were the only team to take them to 6. You needed Devin Booker, historic performances, and KD. He even was not himself to his standard. But I think if you're Phoenix, you're looking at this roster like, listen, if we can build around them correctly, if we can get defenders in here, we already know that offensively we can match the Suns' firepower.
For sure.
We just can't get consistent stops. So if they can bring enough defense, they can definitely challenge Denver next season. I believe so.
Unrelated, but Chuck Clark had a serious knee injury. That's why we signed Amos.
My goodness.
Hate to see it.
Damn it.
No, it's big. I think the Suns are clearly the favorites out of those teams, at least. I mean, you got some teams in there that are lost. You got the Hornets, the Jazz. Like, they got futures, obviously, but
the Clippers could say the same thing.
I don't know if the Jazz are lost.
No, the Jazz are on the way.
They got futures. They got like draft capital.
2 years.
They got some young players. 2 years till
playoffs.
Play-in? Okay.
Playoffs.
It's always interesting looking at teams that have
jumped the gun here.
Not won, because the Nets, they had a chance with their big three.
That's a cook.
But Jason Kidd, they lost 2 finals. The Pacers, they lost with Reggie Miller. The Clippers never been. Can't talk about them.
They're fried.
The Grizzlies never been.
They would have beat the Suns if healthy.
Agreed.
I don't believe the Timberwolves have ever been, or the Pelicans.
Why didn't you say it as emphatic when you said it with the Clippers, though? You kind of just like winced at it.
Choked a lot. And the Jazz, of course, they lost to Malone and Stockton.
Didn't the Timberwolves choke to the Grizzlies? Matter of fact, we're not going to do this. This is a phrase Denver. Yeah, professional episode. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to play it cool.
If I was ranking West teams, the Timberwolves, the second biggest, toughest challenge to Denver next season.
5 games.
Who's number 1? Lakers?
No, McDaniels.
Suns.
That's true.
So the Wolves are more of a
makes
challenge.
It what, 6?
To the
same as Suns.
To the Nuggets and the Lakers.
The series is more competitive without McDaniels.
I will say, second best defensive performance that the Nuggets faced this season was in the playoffs. Was the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And all those games are close. Maybe game 1 was a blowout. Maybe
game 1 was the only blowout.
But here's the thing: the Lakers were the worst, and like we mentioned on the show, every game was close. The best by far was Miami.
Best what?
The best defense that the Nuggets faced was Miami.
They gave him some fits at times.
I was going to say,
I mean,
it's honestly that they weren't hitting their shots.
They couldn't keep up.
What was the final score of last night's
I'm
game?
not just talking about
it was
the
down
Heat.
by 5.
Yeah,
no, I'm talking about the Heat couldn't hit their shots.
They couldn't, but then also the Nuggets were not hitting their shots that they usually made. It took MPJ had a great performance last night, but up until that point, he was struggling.
They had 3 of their 4 worst shooting performances against Miami, at least from 3. Denver did.
Yep.
It's just Miami came.
Even yesterday, they shot poorly from 3.
Yesterday is a game you look at that Denver would lose, and then you go into game 6 and be like, oh, they're not going to shoot 24% again, and you're not going to have these many turnovers. And they just won because they could find multiple ways to win.
Now, let's read these super chats, then let's rank our top point guards, and let's get into some Jamal Murray discussions
There we go.
within them. First super chat, Andre Parks goes, "What's up, Andrew?"
What up,
Andrew?
Nobody else?
Andre Parks.
He's saying, "What's up, Andrew?"
I know. Yes. It's full. I usually don't hear Andrew.
But he said, "What's up to me?"
Yes.
Yeah. What's up, bro?
Pick a side meme goes, "Here's a birthday gift, John. Happy birthday, John." Also, talk about the MLB since NBA is over.
No.
That's up 5-1.
How about you lock in, bro? Just watch your Astros and we can talk about that.
For a little bit. It's just I'd rather watch it in person. I really do.
Well,
it's
Houston's pretty far.
Yo, bro, I told you Riv went to his first Yankee game the other day.
She was jumping. It's way more fun there, and
it's
really not that
because
fun.
you're forced to watch the game there when you're in there.
Being at the stadium is a lot more fun than TV easily.
Now we also finessed unbelievable seats.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, you would like what I'm saying is if you're at home, I'm not gonna sit through a baseball game. At least I've not had that discipline to this point in my life, and I sit through a baseball game. Sometimes I have, but when you're at the stadium, when you're at the ballpark,
I don't.
It's fun.
No,
it's fun.
I've seen people. Yeah, well, I've seen people like leave. Like people were leaving second inning, like third.
That was also a doubleheader.
Yeah.
We went for a doubleheader.
But I think it's more like you're there. You can talk to other people. Just watching the game. It's more fun.
Baseball, I think, is the only sport I enjoy being in person more than watching it on TV.
I've watched that baseball game is better than a lot of.
I enjoy watching football on the TV more than I enjoy watching it in person.
Yeah, it's just so hard to get a lay of what the fuck's going on.
Like you need to be in the middle of the stadium,
those are the most
so you
expensive.
can see exactly.
Yeah, that game was definitely more fun than every football game.
I will say basketball is amazing.
It is fun in person.
It's amazing.
Even if you're at the top of the thing, you're at the top of the arena.
Literally
still fun.
great.
I was at the top of the arena for Game 7, the Nets and Bucks.
You were at the top. You're at the bottom.
No, I was at the top.
That
of
was
the
a
arena.
different game. That was
you got
against the
caught.
Grizzlies.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was the Harden.
Yeah.
When KD hit that shot, everybody thought the game was over.
I didn't know you went to that game.
No.
No,
Yeah,
not
I
at
went
all.
there.
And after that, you know what?
And he watched an 0 for 6.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
Got it.
Oh, okay.
So look,
I'm just trying to make sure that's the standard we're living by.
Okay.
Aiden Ramirez goes, I just want to say that y'all did a flawless job of covering the NBA this season. You guys are revolutionizing sports media before our eyes, and I couldn't be prouder to be a supporter of y'all. Joel, Riv, Drew, Dehls, and John, y'all are the real MVPs, and he donated $50
Shout
for
out.
cherry on top.
what a beautiful
Thank you,
message.
Aiden.
Thanks, buddy.
It's the
Thank you,
San
bro.
Diego ambassador for Pick Asada.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Very heartfelt. And Devin goes, been a minute. Glad to see my boys back.
Shout
Oh.
out.
We stopped doing lives for a minute. We can easily go back to doing them.
We could. It's
We
just
do that every
yeah,
time.
nah,
It's
It's
literally.
hilarious. This guy's idea.
It's just some episodes I feel like are better live, some are not better
Yeah.
live.
Yeah, we
You know
can
what
play
I'm
it by
saying?
ear.
If there's some like big news final, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like this is the show after the finals. I think we can go live.
That's valid.
And whenever we have a guest on, going live is easier for production purposes
sense.
as well. So we can do that. Jamal Murray ranking. Now, Rev, you caught a lot of heat on social media for your Jamal Murray ranking and where you ranked him amongst top point guards.
You caught a lot of heat that was incorrect.
I
be fair.
revised my list.
You revised your list. Did it make you
You
revise
moved them
your
up
list?
once. You moved them up one spot.
So how do you guys want to do this? Do you guys want to go 10, 10, 10, 10? Or...
I think that would be funner.
Okay, we
Funner.
can do that.
Don't
Sorry.
do that.
Why you
Come
doing
on, bro.
Let's do it.
It's because I'm.
Do you want to start with the players? Do you want to start with the players you left off your top 10 first?
I didn't.
I
write
can't do
anybody
that. I did.
I went down to 15.
15. Austin Reeves is there?
You guys just
Ah,
always do this to
Your
me.
boy LaMelo is.
Okay,
he's locked.
honorable mentions: LaMelo, DG, Hallie.
Yeah.
You know the guys.
Drew Holiday, Austin Reeves.
Not an honorable mention. I
Drew
wouldn't put-
Holiday is an honorable mention.
Harden's
Drew
one to
Holiday.
No.
He's 14.
No, most definitely.
But he
Austin
wouldn't
Reeves'
get close. He's
generational
not getting in the
efficiency in
10.
the WCF is an
Austin
honorable
Reeves,
mention.
I don't consider him a point guard till he plays this
But
year as a point guard.
Fair enough. I just acknowledge that he will be playing.
He wouldn't be an honorable
He
mention.
played a
though.
good amount of point guard in the postseason.
He wouldn't be
for
an
us.
honorable mention.
He's top 15.
I have 15 names here.
And if you want to count Kyrie as a point guard, which I don't, then he's number 16.
I have Kyrie. Yes, I have Kyrie on this list.
My snubs are Kyrie, Garland, Harden, LaMelo, and Drew Holiday.
Mine are
interesting. I wanna hear
Harden,
your top.
Tyrese, Garland, Drew, and LaMelo.
Yeah.
So starting number 10, who
Here
do
we
you
go.
got at 10, Riv?
Wait, bro, you said that James Harden wasn't in your top 10.
He revised it.
I revised it. No, he's out.
So he's honorable mention.
My 10 would be Kyrie Irving.
My 10 is also Kyrie Irving.
My 10 is Trae Young. What's so funny?
The other day you had Tyrese at 10. And
No, I didn't. I had Tyrese over Trae.
Yo,
Bro.
that was not
Bro.
the first thing. Like, I'm laughing
Bro.
because it shocked me. That wasn't the name I thought you would say first.
No.
Trae at 10?
Here's the shit that is it's bothering my stomach. My stomach hurts.
Shit.
You said he was the best point guard in the game last year. He
That
went
was-
from 1
That was the middle
to
of the year,
10.
too. You said that like January, February.
He went from 1 to 10.
he was pretty damn good in the playoffs.
He played
It was really fun.
No, and he was very good in,
Well, last
in
year,
March.
this year
He was also
Yeah,
very
this year.
good
We're
in
talking about last year.
February.
Anomaly.
well last year. Trae in the regular season
He was
had
better.
the most points and assists of any point guard in the
He
NBA.
flopped.
But then he put up 26
No,
and 10
he
this
started-
year. Went
he
from
start-
28 and 9.
This
he
is the
finished.
difference.
He was poor.
He
It
finished
was.
good.
He
started
Finished
poor.
good.
This is the
Finished
difference.
very well.
This is the difference.
Here we go.
Trae Young,
And
after that regular season in the playoffs, was not good. He was great in the playing game. He was not good in the playoffs
Last year.
versus Miami.
he had a game winner
Oh,
in
yes,
that
yes,
series,
yes.
though.
But
No, he wasn't good.
shitty.
He wasn't
He
good.
wasn't
He
good.
was
He had a
Miami.
game winner.
And this entire season has been drama filled.
Yes.
His defensive weaknesses have been exploited
been there.
even more. His
Always
coach,
been bad.
his coach got fired. A big reason was because of their
Played better with
inability
Quinn Snyder, though.
to
What's
get
this have to
along.
do with him
Quinn
and his
Snyder is an
game?
offensive head coach. I take all that into account, and I take into account Trae Young. Every player that I have above Trae Young on this list,
Yes.
there's a reasonable and logical explanation
I
for
can't wait
why
to hear
they're
it.
over Trae Young.
can't
And
wait to hear
I
it.
Who
can
put Jalen Brunson?
Oh, no. Brunson is without a
over
doubt.
Trae
above
fucking
Brunson.
I'm going to leave the
Bro,
live.
And James
bro.
Harden.
was
This
better
is-
as
and
the
James
season
Harden.
goes out.
Wait, James Harden is 10?
Yes.
James Harden is not in my top 10.
Riv, this is day one of the
Wow.
offseason. Day one.
We're
Day
here.
one.
I literally didn't. I just tweeted. Get ready. It's the start of the worst takes you'll hear all year.
I'm just curious. Since when is
God,
changing?
this is not going to help your case.
No, you went from 1 to 10. That's what you're losing.
You don't even know what I'm gonna say. Drew,
Changing what?
Going from 1 to 10 is not crazy, given the fact that
You have to fall off.
Given the fact that Dame was healthy this year,
Which we know.
You said he was better than Steph.
Okay, so that drops him to 2.
he had a better regular season than Steph. That's a fact.
You would have had
He did.
Dame over Trey last year? You had Trey at 1.
No, Trey was over Dame last year because Dame did not play last year.
He had the abdominal injury.
So Dame is back. De'Aaron Fox had a career year. SGA had an All-NBA season. John Morant was still one of the top players at his position.
Who had a better playoffs, Trey or Ja this year?
I'll say Trey.
So why is Ja ahead of Trey? Are you valuing regular season?
Player.
And Ja's about to probably get a hefty fine.
We're talking about Trey.
Yeah, for sure. If we're talking about political reasons, then of course.
Oh no, we're gonna disregard.
I thought we were disregarding that period, but he's bringing up all these trades.
That's why exactly.
Let's not act like from year to year you can't go from one extreme to the other. Last year you did not call Jimmy Butler an all-time great playoff performer, and now this year he was one. So you can go from one extreme to another in a year.
I think you can go from 6 to 7 to 10. You had him at 1.
Yeah,
so not when the point guard position.
Like 4 names.
Not when the point guard position in the NBA is arguably the most stacked it's ever been. The rankings will vary year to year.
All right, Drew, who's your 10?
My 10 is James Harden. I have him number 10.
I have Harden 11.
I had Kyrie at 10. You had Kyrie at 10. Yeah. You have Trey Young. And you have
James Harden.
All right,
that's respectable.
It's gonna get fun.
Where'd you have Harden?
It's gonna get fun as fun.
11, 12.
He's in that area.
Okay,
he's not in my top 10.
It's gonna get fun.
You named your 10.
Yes,
I said yeah, Kyrie.
My 9 is Tyrese Halliburton. That's my number 9.
I'm done. I'm done. No.
How is Tyrese better than Trey?
I can't.
The case for Tyrese, and I think he's the most underrated point guard in the league right now.
He's nice for sure,
and he's gonna have. The Pacers are going to make the playoffs next year. That's one. And he's going to be the biggest reason for that. I look at Tyrese. I look at Tyrese. 21 points per game.
John allowed to talk? He was a Trey Young hater a couple weeks ago.
He cannot talk. He was just saying he'd take Garland over Trey Young. I don't know why he's walking out.
Darius Garland is cooked.
Darius Garland's not even a top 10 point guard in the league right now. He's not.
Wait, you didn't. This is my only problem.
Do you?
You didn't. I don't think that we had a conversation. You didn't have Hallie over Garden during the season. And there's nothing that Halliburton did after the regular season to warrant him being better than Garland.
I went back the same way you went back and watched Brandon Ingram film. I went back and watched Tyrese film.
I didn't went back and watch Brandon. I just watched Brandon Ingram through the season.
You was slandering Brandon Ingram throughout the season, and that all of a sudden you said he's better than Jaylen Brown.
Just because you bring up something else does not help your case.
Listen, but Riff, you do that sometimes too.
I didn't go back and watch film. I just watched Brandon Ingram in the last 35 games.
Back to Tyrese, because we're taking away credit from him right now.
I mean, he shouldn't be top 10.
No, he should. No, if you want it, I don't disagree.
He should be top 10.
I don't disagree. He's fringe, but you can't say that he's top 10 and have him over Trey Young. That's where you lose me.
Tyrese averages 21 and 10 a game.
Trey Young in his worst year was 26.
This is the case for Tyrese.
Have you actually seen Tyrese's assist? Like his 10 assists?
This is the case for Tyrese over Trey Young. And if you guys let me speak, I can make the case instead of just being shocked at every single statement.
You're shocking us. What do you want us to do?
Trey Young averages more points than Tyrese because his usage percentage is so much more. Trey Young, in every season in the last 4 years, his usage percentage is 30 plus. Tyrese's usage percentage right now is 23.8. He doesn't have a high usage percentage, yet he averages a double-double. He has a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Trey Young is half of that. He turns the ball over at double the rate Tyrese does.
Well, you just mentioned it. He has the ball in his hands more.
And when we talk about efficiency, Tyrese is a 50, 40, 90 type of guy. 49% from the field, 40% from three, 87% from the free throw line. This Pacers team this past season that we saw, we were projecting them to get a top 3 pick in the NBA draft.
They were close.
Because Tyrese got injured. But when Tyrese was healthy, they were definitely one of the surprises and shocks of the NBA because they were so competitive. And they finished with the 28-28 record. So I look at Tyrese. He's more efficient than Trey Young. He takes care of the ball more than Trey Young. He's a better facilitator than Trey Young. And he has better ball security as well. And he's 6'5" compared to Trey Young 6'1", which means that defensively, he's not going to get bullied. Trey Young is a bottom 3 defender in the NBA. Tyrese is not that.
And Tyrese isn't that good of a defender, though.
He's not, but he's not a liability. He's not a bottom 3 defender.
Tyrese averaged. Hold on, Tyrese.
Last year, his efficiency was unbelievable.
Tyrese averaged 3 turnovers. Trae Young averaged 4.
He didn't. He averaged 2.5 turnovers per game.
3 turnovers.
Yeah, Tyrese averaged 10.4 assists. If you do the math, that's a 4 to 1.
I'm with you. I'm with the assist to ratio turnover. I understand that, but they averaged damn near the same amount of turnovers, and Trae Young has the ball a lot more than Tyrese.
Same amount of turnovers. How many did Trae Young average?
Trae Young averaged 4.1.
2.5 to 4 is kind of.
What do you mean that's double? He averaged
double. It's not 1.5.
It's not double. It's because I'm rounding it. 2.5 is essentially 3.
I'm not disagreeing. In the laws of rounding, he's right.
And the laws of rounding,
2.5.
However, but turnovers and those kind of numbers, it's hard, especially
2.5 is dead middle. It can be 2 or 3.
No, it can't. If you understand rounding,
it's 3.
But we're comparing turnovers with Trae Young, and you just admitted he had the ball far more than Haliburton, bro.
But that's the point. Him having the ball far more than Haliburton, that's how Trae Young is able to be effective. He has to have a high usage. Tyrese can be my lead guard and not dominate the ball, which will make everybody around him better. And that's why I favor Tyrese.
Who's your number 9, bud?
It was Jalen Brunson.
I also have Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson 9. I also have Jalen Brunson at 9.
Okay. Haliburton was 12
he
for
would
me.
be in my 11 14-ish range.
Haliburton was 12 for me.
Yeah.
Number 8, I have Jalen Brunson.
Thank you for these numbers, John. You want me to read them out loud? You want me to just hide them?
Well, the numbers.
Just read them.
John said the case for Haliburton winning a better off-ball player is quicker and more selfless decision maker. Trae Young's turnover percentage is just 15%. Haliburton's was 13% in 2023.
Okay.
Marginal
is right.
Number 8. Sorry, did you say yours already?
Number 8 is Jalen Brunson.
Okay, I have Jamal Murray at 8.
I also have Jamal. That's where Jamal falls.
I have De'Aaron Fox at 8.
Okay.
I have De'Aaron Fox because I just think that the 3-point shot of Jamal Murray is better than Fox's, and that's the difference for me. And I think that Jamal Murray is a slightly better passer.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And he's better at the free throw line. That is something that we don't talk about De'Aaron Fox. He really is not that good of a free throw shooter.
Yeah, to be fair.
You're not wrong, and he does need love. From you specifically.
Yeah, we don't talk about it much. We only talk about them maybe like 2-3 times.
Well, that's not true. We spoke about the Kings a lot this season.
Yeah, to a degree. We don't talk about his free
throws. His free throw shooting really is not as good as it should be for a point guard.
His career
for a guard in
4%,
general.
73%.
Number 8, I had Jalen Brunson. It's obvious what he did. Knicks had a top 3 offensive rating off of ISO, and that's mostly because of him. He upped his game in the playoffs.
Did you agree with my hot take?
That what?
That Jalen Brunson was the top 2 performer at the point guard position this postseason?
I think that's valid.
Okay.
I think that's valid.
Do you agree with whom I have 1, though? Steph Curry.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
between him and Jamal, though, it was very close. Obviously, Jamal ended up winning a championship, but I just think of who had to carry more of a load, especially when that wasn't expected. We were expecting Julius Randle to be better.
It's a question.
It wasn't.
I'm going to be a little bit more respectful to you and your list, so I apologize for I'm gonna ask this question.
No, I can apologize too. I'm sorry.
The
vibes are low.
You don't warn us when you do these things.
I gave y'all a legit
You
argument.
did, but you
just don't warn us. You don't warn us when you do these things.
You caught us off guard, and I do apologize to you.
Crazy.
We're not trying to question your
Jalen
intelligence,
Brunson
bro.
not have the same deficiencies on the defensive end and height wise as Trae Young. Do you not put
Jalen
that
Brunson's a better defender.
He is a better defender.
No, but I'm saying does he not have the height deficiencies and he needs the ball because he as a playmaking Trae, I think clears Jalen Brunson as a playmaker.
For sure.
Jalen Brunson is a lot of ISO heavy. So does he not have the same deficiencies as Trae Young?
They're similar. I think that the case for Trae Young right now being so high in point guard lists comes down to one thing. It's the consistency of what he's been doing. I can't overlook the consistency. But when I look at who's been better this season, I think Jalen Brunson had easily a better season than Trae Young. He shot 42% from 3. And you look at how Jalen Brunson can generate his baskets. He's a better finisher than Trae Young. He's better in the mid-range. He has way better footwork. He can play from the post as a 6'1 guard. He has all those things over Trae Young. He can shoot better than Trae Young because Trae Young has been knocked as a shoot, has been penciled in as a shooter when every year he's up and down, up and down, up and down.
To be fair, last year he was great as a 3-point shooter. This year he started off poorly, however, ended the season I believe in February it was 40%. In March it was 38%, 37%. April he shot it poorly, but it was only 3 games. And in the postseason, I believe that he shot it well again.
He did, and that's the thing. Trae Young's game to me is up and down. It is very up and down.
He finished the season consistent.
He finished the season
very good.
Amazing, for sure. But I look at his past tenures with the coaches that have gone out. I'm not a big fan of Lloyd Pierce. I thought that was the right decision. But we're talking about Nate McMillan, a coach who he went to the conference finals with the Hawks.
Correct.
And then the relationship just got wacky. So I'm looking at Trae Young now. A coach has gotten fired, and it's because they couldn't get along. So for me, it feels like he's somebody that's hard to coach. When DeJounte Murray went to Atlanta, we were expecting Trae Young to play off the ball more. Trae Young played off the ball more for the first 2 months of the season. After that, he went back to being ball dominant. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at Trae Young and I'm saying, well, he's only shown me he can play in one way and be successful. Brunson has already shown me he can do it in multiple different roles. And as a lead guy, Jalen Brunson, he rose up to the moment. Last year when he was the lead guy for Dallas, he did it. But doing it for the Knicks this year with a team that you have the most pressure. I mean, we're seeing Julius Randle's posters getting flamed up. I mean, you don't perform in New York, it's rough. Jalen Brunson rose up to that challenge. He averaged 31 against arguably the best defense in the playoffs in Miami. I give respect to the Lakers because they were amazing too.
Thank you.
But you averaged 31 when nobody else on the Knicks showed up. The same team that Trae Young went up against last year and could not do anything. And Brunson and him were in similar situations if they were both getting trapped. So I think Brunson had a better year. And if I'm going forward, I like Brunson leading my team more than I do Trae Young.
See, because that's, you said going forward, and that's where I hear you out. But I feel like when we do these lists, it needs to be a combination of what have you done for me lately, and then what have you done? Mm-hmm. I like to combine the two, which is why I have SGA high on my list. I do, and that is predicated off of what he did this year. However, he was so damn good this year that's why he weighs heavier. I hear what you're saying about Tyrese. Jalen Brunson has a better argument for Tyrese, in my opinion, over Trae Young. However,
playoffs, for sure.
Correct. But again, what have you done for me, and what have you done for me lately? Trae Young finished the season great against the Celtics. He was
really good.
Hindsight, it allows us to see through the Boston Celtics. I don't mean that any slight, bro.
That's valid.
He played very well against, for at the time, a great defense. We saw it kind of not be as great as what it was supposed to be. But at the moment where we're expecting Boston Celtics to essentially scrape the floor with them, Trae Young stepped up to the plate.
I think these lists are both what you've done and projection based.
Agreed.
I don't know if it's different from how we do it from the NBA to the NFL.
I don't project.
We know.
I think that like the projection is probably like the third option on the list. For me.
I agree with that though.
Because Brunson was good in the playoffs, but so was Trae. Brunson made it to the second round, so I think that's why you're giving him credit. But Trae Young was phenomenal against the Celtics.
When we did our receivers list for the NFL, I believe none of us had Cooper Kupp number one. No. We all had somebody else number one.
And we had Jet.
It was either Jamar Chase. We had Jamar Chase. We had Justin Jefferson. Yeah. That's off what you've done, but also what I think you're going to do. So in these lists, it's what you've done, but this is my list. I'm not going. This is my list.
That's fine.
And all these point guards that I'm naming are players I'm taking over Trae Young because they have a case that they had a better season than him. And I also think they're better for the future, and that's who I want leading my team.
I don't think Tyrese has the case
than Trae Young.
This is the case for Tyrese, and I'm gonna do it right now.
We did hear it already.
It's more than that though, because
but the thing is, your case, and I understand your case, but your case is faltering one part, which is very important. So the only person, only two people on this list, three, is going to have a case where they didn't have to play in the playoffs because they were so damn elite in the regular season. Tyrese wasn't that. So you like the non-playoff thing over Trae Young is odd because
SGA has not played in the playoffs yet.
That's one of my
as a superstar guy.
That's one of the three people who SGA, Luka, and Dame are going to be like, okay, but they were so elite in the regular season. You understand?
That's the thing, though. SGA, I understand why he gets the higher rank because I have him ranked high as well. I look at what Tyrese did, and there's nothing in his game that I see cannot translate to the postseason. I think all of that can translate.
I don't disagree.
So for me, I don't view that as, well, I think he's going to struggle when he gets there. I think Tyrese is going to shine when he gets there.
So is this a projection list?
This is a both. This is who I'm taking as my point guard list. These are the best point guards in my opinion list. That's what this list is. So I look at Trae Young.
He was 9.
Trae Young this past season he had an EFG of 48.5%.
It was his lowest.
Tyrese Halliburton had an EFG of 58.6%. That's 10% higher. The offensive rating for Trae Young was 115.9. The offensive rating for Tyrese was 116.9. And I can argue the supporting cast for Indiana is much worse than Atlanta. And it is.
It's worse.
It's much
no,
worse.
It's worse.
It's worse.
It's worse.
Neither are great.
Buddy Hield.
Neither are great at all.
Buddy Hield. I'm sure Trae Young would love to have Buddy Hield.
Benedict had a great year. Miles Turner.
Trae Young has DeJounte, Bogdan, DeAndre Hunter,
You're not
Collins,
even high
Capella.
with DeJounte.
You hate
can't say
DeJounte.
that.
But DeJounte would be the second best player on Indiana if he goes there. We know that.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
You look at the assist
You
to
see
turnover
that
percentage.
Atlanta's already flirting with the idea of trading DeJounte, though?
That's hilarious.
Of course, because they've realized you cannot have a player like that play with Trae Young, and that's a big thing. Tyrese Halliburton's assist to turnover ratio is 4.15. So for every 4 assists, he gets one. He gets one turnover. Trae Young's was 2.47. So we're talking about a guy who takes care of the ball way better. And that's why I favor Tyrese. He takes care of the ball. He's more efficient by a mile than Trae. And as a bigger guard, I think he's going to be way better down the line in the future. I understand the stats for Trae Young look amazing, and I'm not disregarding the stats. But to me, I think there's something with Trae Young that's just cautioning me to not take him over most of these guys, because all these guys I'm taking over Trae Young if I'm building a team. These are lead guards I'm taking over Trae Young.
All right. So who do you have at 7?
So we all had us three. We had Jamal at 8.
Yeah, and I have Fox at 8.
I have Kyrie, Brunson. I have Kyrie at 10, Brunson at 9. I have Jamal at 8, and I put Fox at 7.
Okay.
I have Trae at 7.
Okay. I have Jamal at 7.
I'm struggling with Jamal
I get it.
because Jamal Murray has a case to be as high as 5.
It's not an insane statement.
Depends on who's the 5.
5.
I don't want to spoil.
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil.
Let's do it. Let's just do
Well,
it.
I'll spoil it because my 7 and 5 is very interchangeable.
Okay.
De'Aaron Fox is my 5. De'Aaron Fox regular season's better than Jamal.
Easy.
Jamal Murray has more of a playoff resume than De'Aaron Fox.
But De'Aaron
So-
he was
impressive.
great. Yes,
he was.
great in
He
this
was.
against the Warriors.
He was great, but that's one playoff series. So I can't really weigh that too
I
much,
agree.
too heavily. Jamal Murray and John Moran is the interesting discussion to me, because we know that John Moran in the regular season is all NBA and Jamal Murray has not had those individual accolades. But we've seen Jamal Murray in 53 playoff games. His PER is 21.9. In 19 playoff games, John Moran, PER is 22. So we're saying in the playoffs, Jamal Murray and John Moran, neck and neck. The differentiator is the regular season. So if you want to say, like, who I want as my lead guard leading my team, I understand the case for John Moran.
He changed the Grizzlies franchise.
But I don't know what Jamal Murray would look as a number 1 option. But given these numbers and given how he performs,
been
even
amazing.
without Jokic, I feel like he has a case to be as high as 5. I wouldn't put him over SGA, Dame, those top tier guys, but he has a case to be the 5th best point guard in the league because the postseason is legit.
I agree.
I mean, the bubble we questioned, he proved everybody wrong after that.
Agreed.
This is the player he is. He's not the 19 a game in the regular season. This is the guy he is. And every single playoff run, we're going to look at Jokic and Jamal as a duo, and we're going to be like, we're taking that duo over most duos in the league. And it's because of the respect we have for Jamal, too.
Who you have? So you have 7?
I have Jamal 7. I have him behind Morant, Fox. Fox is 5. But if I was actually doing this over, I would have Fox 7, Jamal 6, and Morant 5. That's what
Okay. I
interesting.
respect that.
So I'd have Jamal over Fox.
So we want to do 7-6-5 then?
I'm fine with that. Fox, I
go ahead.
get where you're coming from in terms of how great Fox was. Obviously, all NBA performer, but
Needed to tap in one more year.
yeah, facts. I agree. So yeah, my 7's Jamal. My 6 is Ja. My 5 is Trae Young. I mean, that's why I was really so taken aback to hear him 10.
Yeah, I think I value a little bit of what Fox and Ja do as the number 1 than what Jamal does a little bit. That's what I have him ahead of.
Mhm.
So I have Fox. Trae
Is
Young.
Fox the one?
I think
Yeah.
so.
I just say
He's
that
the
because I think that Sabonis orchestrates the offense. And obviously the scoring option, the number 1 scoring option is De'Aaron Fox.
Down the stretch, though, Fox has the ball in his hands. He's the one making
That's
it,
fair.
so.
That's a good point.
I'll
That's a
probably
good
go.
point.
I'll go Fox, Trae, Ja. So that's 7-6-5.
Okay.
Fox
Fox is 7, Trey is 6, and
I have-
Ja is
Ja's
5.
I have Trae
I
7,
understand.
Fox 6, Ja 5.
Okay.
But all three of those are.
I think
Jamal
those three guys
are
interchangeable though.
Yeah, that 5 through 8 really is a strong conversation.
It's just Jamal being the number 2, having Jokic on his team. It's like, what would Fox look like? What would Trey look like? All of those guys could look better than their current version if they have Jokic playing with them.
And it's
really about what you value.
I don't agree with that. And the reason I don't is because
what's the statement?
I'm saying that if you have
I don't think he
said,
Fox,
he said,
Trey, what would they look like?
What would they look like if you have Jokic on that team compared to, Sabonis, I guess, is a pours man, but a DeJounte Murray for Jaren Jackson. It's a different level of facilitator on that team.
I think that Murray's skill set is perfect. And I don't think that a duo of Jokic and Fox is better than Jokic and Murray. I think
because of the shooting, you could probably argue that.
And I don't think Trey and Jokic.
No, I agree. I think Jamal fits perfect. But as a team with Jamal as your number one better than a team with Fox as your number one? That's the question. Or a team with Ja as your number one? That's like Jamal.
We haven't seen it.
Jamal's he's in a weird position where he's playing with the best player in the league, but also his game is probably one of the few that fits perfectly next to him.
A better question though, because I think we can agree that all these guards are not number ones anyway on the championship team.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably not.
Fox is not. Trey is not. So then the real question becomes, out of all these guys, who would you actually want as your number 2?
Tough.
Depends on who's the number one.
Who's the toughest
number 1?
The number 2 for Giannis was Chris Middleton. He's not a top 25, top maybe 30 player. So it's like, who's the number 1? Then that question becomes, how high of does the number 1 have to be for this guy?
I think Trae Young would be great with Jokic.
Can I ask, is Ja not one of those guys that you think about for the sole fact that last year the strongest competition that the Golden State Warriors faced, or the one that gave him the most fits, was that Grizzlies team? And Jamal Murray was injured for a couple of those games. Is it crazy to say that this Grizzlies team, well, now in hindsight, obviously we've seen that it couldn't even get out of the first round. It seems to be a mess. But off of last year, they were a strong team and one that seemed to be one that could contend to at least get to a WCF, potentially make the finals.
That's why I think they're always
guy. I always thought they were frauds.
Last year, they weren't frauds.
I thought they were pretenders last year, too.
Were they, in hindsight?
Yes. I don't think they get past Golden State either.
Well, they still achieved well. They got to the second round.
Yeah. But again, I
don't
wrong
think they beat Boston either, though.
No, probably not.
Okay.
I think
God forbid.
You're asking a question that's pretty much an anomaly. There isn't just in NBA history, it usually doesn't happen that a point guard is your best player in your championship.
I understand it because
happens like 3 or 4 times.
I think Luka
that Grizzlies
Steph,
team was really good.
No, I'm with you, but I just think it just doesn't, like Chauncey Billups, Steph, Magic, Isaiah Thomas, and then Oscar Robertson. But even then, Kareem was the best. So it's like it's happened 4 times. If you want to stretch to 5, sure. So it's like it's still like it's just hard for point guards to be the driving engine for your team.
Especially most of these guys, at least Ja, Fox, they can't shoot the 3. They're not great defenders. You're asking a lot of they're going to have to put on some crazy performances to be able to carry you to win a championship.
The majority of the guys
situation has to be perfect.
Yes.
The majority of the guys to win an NBA championship, you said it, Isaiah, Magic, Steph, Oscar Robinson, right? Majority of the guys to win, not many wings. You have LeBron, you have Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard.
Kobe Bryant's a wing.
Okay.
They're shooting guards, but they're wings.
Is Jordan a wing?
Yes.
Is Kobe a wing?
Yes.
All right, let me continue. I'll allow you to correct me. All right, so you have LeBron, you have KD, you have Kawhi, you have Paul
Kobe's
Pierce.
A shooting guard, though.
Kobe and Jordan are shooting guards.
I think he's like a wing. Like I think he plays on the wings. I would consider him like a wing. Some shooting guards you can consider a wing. Like Paul George came in as a shooting guard. But
we're calling Chauncey Billups the best player on that Pistons team also.
He's a point guard, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Add him to the list.
I think you
add
can.
him to the list of guards.
I said
it. Okay. But then a majority of the guys that have won have been big men.
There was the Pistons is a weird case because Ben
well-rounded team.
Ben Wallace locked down Shaq.
Absolutely.
So you can argue that he
was
was the reason they won the
championship.
championship.
Yeah.
So that's a big reason why. And that team was well-rounded. I'm only comfortable with saying 2 of these guys can be bona fide best player on championship team.
Luka
That's
and
Steph and Luka. Dame is teetering the line. SGA
needs a jumper.
I just
more
SGA?
Consistent. Mm-hmm.
I think his game is fine how it is now.
I was going to say that team is built for it is being perfectly built. I really believe in OKC. I like really OKC do. Too. And it's dependent on Chet and how he looks in that team because they desperately need a big.
I think SGA can get there. I believe in the skill set. But Ja is a weird one because I just think that there are going to be series where they go under screens and they just force him to shoot. And we're going to see he's like a 6'3" version of he's going to be exploited like Giannis, except he's 6'3".
I wouldn't say that he's like this dog shit shooter though.
He has to get better. I mean, he shot the lights out of in the Warriors.
Against the Warriors and against us,
3 games,
he shot well.
He has his moments.
That's why if he gets it consistent, it's a different conversation. You know, as of right now, though,
if he's able to develop,
I think I fuck with your list. I think SGA has the skill set and he has the size, to be at number one. But like we still have to see it.
Josh shot 42% from 3 this last playoff run.
That's what I'm saying. Bro. He did. He shot very well against us.
Yeah, I think SGA has the skill set.
There was
size
one game that boosted that up tremendously.
Was it game 5?
Shot 30% from 3 in the regular season.
Let me ask you, 4. Who do you have?
SGA. Dame.
Okay.
I have SGA.
All right. I have SGA also out of respect for Dame, but
I have SGA.
My mind wants me to go SGA.
I think that was interchangeable. Like especially with the way Dame, they just had an elite season, both of them. Like even like
Dame was amazing.
Yeah, like they both had an elite season. Those are like Dame and SGA is interchangeable. I think Luka and Steph are confirmed 1 and 2 though.
I agree.
I think those are the 2 best point guards in the league.
No, for sure. I have Steph 1, I have Luka 2.
Like if you want to say SGA because he's a better defender, that's fine. If you want to pick Dame because he's a better shooter, that's fine too.
His ability to finish at the rim's insane.
Yeah,
his free throw shooting's great. His defense is very good.
They're both like it's interchangeable for me, honestly.
The top 3 is consensus for me.
Who's your top 3?
It's just Steph, Luka, and Dame.
Okay.
I don't think SGA has a legit argument over Dame.
Why?
Because in the regular season, Dame was better than SGA. And Dame has a playoff resume to back up what he does too.
Dame was unbelievable.
Is that not the same as Trae Young and Halliburton?
No, I think Halliburton's better in the regular season.
For one season.
Past year? It's marginal.
And then Trae Young has a better resume, playoff resume.
He's gotten out the first round last 2 years.
He still has a better playoff resume.
He has an ECF run, dude.
And he put up 4 or 5 great games.
You really want to talk about Dame getting out the first? He's literally the last time he was in lost to Jamal Murray list joker.
The Nuggets that you thought that they were going to lose. That the Nuggets were going to lose to that Blazers team because they were too injured.
2 years ago?
Correct.
That was the last time Dame was in the playoffs.
Yeah. They should have won that.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
That series.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm not super high on Dame either. Like, I've already given you my thoughts on Dame. But I do think he has a respectable argument over SGA that
he does.
Is more solid than Trae Young over Halliburton.
It's the regular season.
No, I disagree mightily.
Because Halliburton is an uber efficient player. Like, we're talking about 10% better EFG than him.
Yeah, but I'm
that's
saying
a huge thing.
All I'm saying is what you said was Dame has a respectable gap because of the playoff resume. Well, okay, if you're gonna say that, Trae Young also should have a respectable gap because of the playoff resume.
No, it's just what's the argument for SGA over Dame?
All right, this year he
was a better finisher by far than Damian Lillard, and he was just all NBA first team.
He is a better finisher than Dame by far. I value the shooting more, and Dame clears SGA as a shooter.
He does.
Yeah, I did.
Do you value more at the point guard position to be able to finish at the rim against anyone?
I mean, 3 is worth more than 2. I value.
I'm fine with
outside
that.
shooting more
His
than
field goal
inside.
percentage was higher than Dame's this year. Free throw percentage, Dame slightly has 91 to 90. They both were amazing.
I think you got to look at the true shooting percentage for these two.
Okay. I got you.
Because the field goal percentage for SGA should be higher because he's taking more efficient jump shots.
Oh, Dame's true shooting was dumb.
And
like
I think John had the stat that the Blazers this year with Dame on the court had the number 1 offensive rating in the league. So we're talking about somebody who led the number 1 offense in the league when he played.
Dame's true shooting this year was 64.5. Dame was unbelievable. SGA's, I think, was in the 60s actually too.
Should be. Doesn't
and they're both.
Like, I'm looking at Halliburton, and I'm saying I think the season he had is better than Trae.
62.6.
Oh, so it wasn't even that.
No, nothing
it's
crazy.
It's right there. And SGA is a much, much better defender.
Correct.
Much better in the passing lane.
But if you want to say the three-point
shooting, I get it.
But again, it's marginal with the true shooting percentage, although Dame was unbelievable this year. Really, there was a stretch from the start of January to
I'd argue being that elite at the rim as a guard,
that's what I'm
saying.
It's
more impressive than being that great of a shooter.
Because he finishes over legitimately everyone.
It's more impressive. What would you rather have?
Depends on the team. One guy made the playoffs. Playing. Pardon me. What would I have? I'm
just saying in a vacuum. Would you rather have the point guard or the guard that could shoot from 3, like his unlimited range, or SGA, who's one of the best finishers in the game?
Steph Curry,
SGA because he's a better defender.
Hmm?
Probably SGA because he's a better defender.
Well, I'm just saying offensively, shooting.
Oh, offense. Probably I would take the shooter.
Yeah, I agree.
But unfortunately, it's just not an offensive game, buddy.
It's not. But I was just play a game.
Oh yeah, Dame, that's why I understand. If you want to talk about the shooting and you like Dame because the shooter, I get that. I'm not gonna knock that. You want to take SGA for the finishing at the rim. That's fine too. I think they both had.
I mean, they're 3
similar
and 2, or
yeah.
3 and 4.
But that's the thing. When you argue Dame and SGA, offensively, whatever, they can cancel each other out, right? Defensively, you favor SGA. When it comes to Trey and Hallie, offensively, I think Hallie's better offensively than Trey Young.
I disagree.
I don't think so.
I mean, he's more efficient.
You can point out the usage, but doesn't that show that if Trey Young, I mean, maybe Hallie gets his usage increases, he's able to improve his points. But we have Trey Young year after year averaging like 28, 27, 27.
Let's just look at down a list of offensive skill sets. Tyrese is a better finisher than Trey Young. Tyrese is a better mid-range shooter than Trey Young.
Yeah.
Tyrese is a better three-point shooter than Trey Young.
Is he a better 3-point shooter?
Threes he's taking are better
just
looks.
Better looks. Because
isn't that part of you as a player not taking stupid shots?
But part of Trey Young's game
sometimes
is his range.
I don't think Trey Young and Hallie don't even get guarded the same way. So I think you have to put that in the context.
They definitely guarded Hallie. Definitely not a stretch of the season.
Yeah, but they don't get guarded. Come on.
I mean, we're talking about with Hallie, 41% from 3 versus Trey, 33% from 3. There's a big gap. I don't care about how many the type of shots they're taking. If you want to use the argument that Trey Young is less efficient,
like 7, I think.
Trey took six attempts.
If you're giving me the argument that Trey is taking less efficient shots, well, maybe he should stop taking those half-court shots then. Like I don't know what to tell you. That's a
Tyrese has 7 a game.
That's a bad shot selection process for me. So I look at Tyrese. He's a better finisher. He's a better mid-range shooter. He's a better three-point shooter. He's a better facilitator. He's a more efficient facilitator because the assist-to-turnover ratio for him is way better.
Trey Young's also the 14th most double-teamed player in the league.
And defensively, Tyrese is better than Trey Young.
Tyrese is in top 20.
And defensively,
I knew they didn't get guarded the same, bro.
And defensively, Tyrese is better than Trey Young. And I think even if Tyrese is not that good of a defender, the gap between him and Trey's defenders is
You think Hallie's a better playmaker than Trey Young?
I think he is.
It's close. I mean, he just led the league. Oh no, didn't lead the league. But he was top 3 in assists.
He averaged more assists than Trey Young this past season.
Yeah.
They averaged the same amount. They both were at 10.
I think Trey was at 9 this season.
No, Trey's at 10.2.
Yeah.
How much is Tyrese at?
Tyrese
I think
is 10.4.
10.4, yeah. That's the same amount of assists, but Tyrese is more efficient in his looks. And he doesn't have to be as ball dominant.
It's a lot of they draw plays. He just hits the guy off the pin down. It's nothing extremely crazy.
After February, it's not a question.
We're not going to act like
I get the season started in October, but after February, it was a no-brainer. Trey Young was back to being Trey Young.
Like
after that, you don't think about Tyrese being better than Trey.
If you're remember the numbers, Rick Carlisle is a great offensive head coach.
Trey Young in February?
Is that No.
Okay, I was about to say.
I was speaking out loud. I'm sorry.
Rick Carlisle is a great offensive head coach. Is a great offensive coach.
Yeah.
So I can understand your argument for Tyrese getting those looks, but if you look at Trey Young when he had Nick McMillan in post when Quinn Snyder got there, the offense jumped from a bottom 20 offense to a top 5 offense. So if you want to use the coaching argument for Tyrese and how he benefited, you got to use the same one for Trey and how he benefited once Quinn Snyder got there.
But Trey Young, I don't think Trey Young, because I think like you mentioned the coaching, Carl and Halliburton and Carlisle benefited off each other 100%. But I don't think you can say Trey Young benefited off Quinn Snyder when Trey Young has always been this passer since he walked into the league, no matter the coach. So I don't think you can really say that.
Well, he just progressed as the season went on when he got
and he got better. Like he got better towards the back end of the year.
Easily. That February-March splits are amazing. And then,
he got better, what he did in the playoffs. The real growth is before Quinn Snyder, it was about a 20 offense. Even with Trey Young having these capabilities.
What's the mid-range? 10 to 16 feet?
There's a whole mid-range section on the NBA.com that you can look at.
I'm on Basketball Reference. Trey Young shot better from 10 to 16 feet.
I'll look at the splits.
3 to 10, overall. They were both on one. Hallie was at 45. Trey was at 42. Trey was 55% at the rim.
So in the restricted area, Trey Young shot 54%. Tyrese shot 67%.
You have the attempts right now.
From 10 to 16 feet, Tyrese was at 40%.
So in the paint,
I don't know if is that a mid-range jumper? I think that's
in the paint. Trey Young shot 46%, and Tyrese shot 45.6%. In the mid-range, Tyrese shot 50%. Trey Young shot 42%. The left corner 3, which Trey Young only attempted 7 of those, he shot 14%. Tyrese shot 40%. Right corner 3, Trey only attempted 18 of those. He shot 33%. Tyrese shot 50%. Okay. above the break three, which Trey shot 432 of those.
Makes sense.
34% from above the break three. Tyrese was at 39.7%.
So basically, Trey was better at the rim, and that was it this year.
Trey was just better in the paint, non-restricted area. But in the restricted area, Tyrese was 67% to Trey Young 54%.
Oh, so he was still really good. Okay. All right, I'm fine with that. As long as he was still really good, man.
Listen, Trey Young was amazing to end the year.
There's no knock to Trey Young.
You just have
10 is a knock.
It's no knock. No,
it's,
for him.
It's no knock to Trey Young.
And so where'd you guys have Trey?
I had Trey 6 or 7.
I had Trey 5.
I had him at 7.
Y'all had Trey 5, but you already said openly that it's interchangeable between the 5 to 8 spots.
Yeah, not 5 to 10 though.
No, I think it is because Tyrese Halliburton.
No, wait, for who?
I said 5 to 8. I could have a conversation. I still feel pretty firm in my list though.
Tyrese Halliburton is going to shock a lot of people next season.
No one's shocked though. We understand that he's great.
Yeah.
Shocking would be he jumps into the top 5. I don't think he jumps into the top 5.
He does what SGA does. That would be shocking.
Yes.
Yeah, if he does that, I don't think.
You guys don't have Tyrese in your top 10.
I'm a
no.
So for you
11.
guys, him jumping into the top 10 is a jump.
Into like 9 or 10,
it wouldn't be shocking.
It wouldn't be a shocking jump. Shocking is like
SGA.
He becomes a top 6 point guard in the league, and it's like okay.
Which I mean, he could because Jaws can get suspended, and then you have Fox, Trey, Jamal, Brunson.
Tyrese can have a better season
in that
than
tier.
Fox. I think Fox is a better player right now, but Fox is entering his prime. I think Tyrese, as the years come along,
yeah, that's more down. We're talking about next year. I'm just more down the road. Yeah, probably. But next year,
I mean, I don't think Tyrese is capable of averaging 24 and 10. That's what he could do.
We'll see.
24-11.
The usage rate will go up.
Yeah, I mean, that would be Trey Young's worst year. 24 and 10.
That's not counting the usage rate. Tyrese can.
I mean, if he gets to 24 and 11, his turnovers probably go up.
His usage probably goes up too.
4 to 1 assist turnover ratio.
I understand. His turnovers probably
in terms of point guards that take care of the ball, Tyrese is at the top of every list. He's uber efficient.
He takes the ball well, yeah.
Being too analytical for me right now, King.
That's what it is.
You're comparing a dude with a 33 usage rate to a 20. That's a 10-point jump, bro.
His turnovers would go up with that usage rate. Without it,
why are we praising the usage rate that's more higher though? I don't understand.
We're not necessarily.
We're just showing both sides. If his usage rate goes up, his turnover is going to go up. It's just part of the game.
What was the biggest knock on Russell Westbrook in OKC when he won MVP?
His jumper.
No, what's the biggest knock? That he can only play a certain way. That his usage rate was crazy high. It's 40%. James Harden in Houston. The knock all the time was a usage rate. Yeah. What's one of the biggest reasons we praise Nikola Jokic? He's this efficient with his usage rate, which is not much.
25, 10, and 10 guy.
Of course, but this
is also 7 foot.
You're missing the argument, though.
No, I get you. You're trying to make this argument.
No, you're missing the argument, though. When have we ever valued Uber? When have we ever valued super usage rate players that take the ball away from their teammates?
Isn't that LeBron James or what you tried to accuse
Trey
LeBron
Young
James
taking?
of?
Wait, who is Trey Young taking the ball away from?
DeAndre Hunter. Yeah.
Who is he taking the ball away from? And who does Hallie have? Who does Hallie have?
You think DeJounte Murray sucks?
Who is Hallie sharing the ball with, and who is Trey Young taking the ball away from?
Hallie has less talent on the Pacers.
Yeah, but he doesn't have. But he doesn't have another ball handler.
And the usage rate is still lower.
But it's really realistic because
ball handlers, your usage rate should be up.
No, I just think he was going through a process, and that's just what it was. Trey Young had the ball in his hands because he doesn't. DeAndre Hunter, AJ Griffin, John Collins, Bogdanovic, these aren't guys you necessarily want the ball in their hands for an extended amount of time.
It isn't when you have Trey Young. However, I will say to your statement, which is fair, because Riv, you almost started to lose me a little bit, was they don't have another ball handler in Indiana. They don't. So for his usage to be that and to be as efficient as he is, there's credit to be given. Absolutely.
That's Rick Carlisle running plays.
But we can level here and understand that I would rather have the ball in Trey Young's hands as opposed to, like Riv just mentioned, a Bogdanovic. DeJounte deserves to have the ball. I thought we all thought they played a little bit more off ball. But the fit was seemingly not it. And it just seems that it's also evident. It's not what it seems. It's the truth. Trey Young's better when he has the ball in his hands. And it showed down the stretch for the Atlanta Hawks.
The whole point I'm making is that players that have uber high usage percentages are not players that often get favored when we look at them and how they fit next to other teams. And when we look at them and just look at winning as a whole, Russell Westbrook has had that problem. James Harden,
ball dominant guys. That's one.
James Harden got knocked.
A lot of them.
James Harden got knocked in Houston for years for having a usage rate that high. But what warranted James Harden having it though is that at his peak, he was one of the best offensive players in history. Trae Young is not efficient.
I don't remember.
Do you know what his usage rate was in Houston?
It was like 38 to 40.
Trae Young's at 32%.
Was James Harden that efficient?
That's top 10 in the league.
7, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Who's in front of him?
7. SGA, Tatum, Lillard, Embiid, Luka.
So I'm looking at Tyrese. We just read all the stats. In the paint, Tyrese is better. Mid-range, 3. Everything favors Tyrese. Assist to turnover ratio, it favors Tyrese. He doesn't have to play one way. He can play in multitude of ways. And that's why I favor him as my ball handler, as my point guard. And I think that matters.
What was I going to say? I mean, yeah, I think like just, I don't know. I guess with us, we just have to see it a little bit more.
So why not take Tyrese over Fox?
Because Fox can play more than one way. Fox doesn't need the ball. He doesn't need to dominate the ball to be effective.
But
he's also
we watched the game. We watched the game. He's a solid defender.
Fox
he definitely showed that.
2% less than Trae in usage. He's at 30%. Trae's at 32.4.
And he's more efficient than Trae Young.
Not much.
Fox, yes. And Fox is the best finisher at the rim. He was the best guard finisher at the rim this season. So I look at his skills and I like it more than Hallie. But I don't think the gap between Fox and Hallie is crazy.
Valued shooting more.
De'Aaron Fox this year and Trae Young shot the same percentage.
No, I'm talking about with Hallie and Fox because he asked you about Hallie and Fox.
Yeah, if you ask me between Hallie and Fox,
that's what I'm asking.
I value some of Hallie's skills more than Fox. Like if you're asking me to have a lead ball handler and to run an offense, I think Tyrese has an argument there over Fox. And there's a reason why when he was traded from Sacramento, the whole world lit on fire. Why? Because people have projected Tyrese to be better than Fox.
Well, I just thought that Tyrese was a great player, and why are you trading talent as opposed to keeping it? But to be fair, Sabonis ended up being very great for them.
No doubt. But I think if at the time, if we talk about it, revisionist history, I don't know if this was your opinion on it, but if you were asked, who would you want your lead guard to be 5 years down the line, Tyrese or Fox, you're going to go with Tyrese.
I feel like
you go to the younger player probably.
Well, it's just that
it's not just younger, but it's also that Tyrese has shown that without Fox in Sacramento, he was also a 22-10 guy.
I was going to say I felt like I still was very consistent on Fox. I wasn't trying to buy away from the hype just because Tyrese was great. We saw it the year prior or 2 years prior. I can't remember off the top of my head when I believe they were the 9th seed. That I believe that De'Aaron Fox, if I'm not wrong, was 24, 25 points per game.
Something like
he was
that.
25 in the 21, 22
the year that they were the 9th seed, that they missed it out to the Clippers.
Season. It was the bubble where De'Aaron Fox was great.
No, it was the year before that. That was the 2019 season because that's when the Clippers played against the Warriors.
The year he averaged 25 was the 2020-21 season.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. That was the year.
The 2021 season.
Mm-hmm. The 2020 and 21, the year that the Bucks won the championship.
Okay.
That was the year Fox was his best.
Okay. All right.
But I like the Sabonis trade because Fox and Sabonis win now.
And
it's
they
more
work.
win now.
They work for sure.
Yeah, and they worked for sure. But like I said, I don't think that Fox and Halliburton is this clearing. I think Halliburton next year, we could be saying here, we could be saying Halliburton is a better player than Fox because these point guards are interchangeable. And that's what I'm trying to get. That's the point I'm trying to get across is that all these point guards are very interchangeable.
Outside of
I don't think
too.
before the playoffs, I don't think any of us would have had Jamal Murray locked and sealed top 10 point guard.
I had him top 10.
Top 10 point guard.
Maybe 10.
Maybe.
Because when we did our Would You Rather on Jalen Brunson, I was very consistent then. I still rather Jamal Murray over
before the playoffs.
You probably would have had
Correct.
Kyrie. I mean, you don't lay on this, but you probably would have had Harden over him still.
Harden probably.
Yeah.
For sure.
But the rest of these guys, yeah.
So I think all these players have career seasons every year. So I think you can change
4 or 5.
the
I think like Ja's been consistently in there. Trey's been consistently in there.
Facts.
Steph, Luka, Dame. They've been consistently
Fox
in
made
there.
the jump this year.
Yeah, Fox made the jump.
Brunson made the jump.
Brunson also made the jump. Jamal just came back from injury. He made the jump. But Jamal, the only thing that's different with Jamal made the jump because of the playoffs. Jalen Brunson, playoffs. Fox, regular season, but also playoffs. This is where the jump. This is why we're not missing your point. We're just looking at those 3 guys. They made the jump in the playoffs. Halliburton didn't make the jump in the playoffs. Like he
got to get
hasn't done it.
He got to get there. Yeah, he got to get there.
Even
then Trae Young had a great, he had a good playoff series. It's not like he had a really bad one. He had a really good
Tyrese didn't make the jump in the playoffs. He hasn't been there yet.
Yeah.
I just really value what Tyrese did with Indiana when he played. It's the same thing that, SGA, we understand is a fantastic player, but I think we raised him a little bit more because we saw OKC overcame all their expectations. Like, they were not expected to be a playing team, and they were a playing team. So we look at that and we're like, yo, like, they didn't make the playoffs, but SGA took this team that was not supposed to be here and put them in that position. Tyrese was in a position with the Pacers to be a top 6 seed in the East had he not gotten hurt. So I look at that and what he did with Indiana, and I say, listen, Indiana was a top 5 offense when Tyrese played.
Think they would have finished that way?
It's
when he
likely.
got hurt, it was middle of the season, wasn't it?
No, it was less than.
He played.
It was like before the All-Star
20. I just looked it up, actually.
They were 28-20 when he played, and he came back, and it was still a little bit hobbled. They were still a 500 team, and I don't think Indiana has a roster to be a 500 team. So I look at what Tyrese did, and you look at their offensive rating with Tyrese and without, it was a top 5 offense with him, bottom 25 without.
Makes sense.
So regardless of how you want to say, Rick Carlisle helped out the scheme, whatever, the drop-off with and without him was gigantic. So I look at what he did, and that's what I value. And I understand the playoffs thing. Listen, I understand. And if you want to have Trae over Tyrese, I don't got no pushback. But for me, when I look at going into next season, who I want as my point guard, I would go Tyrese before I would go Trae.
Halliburton got hurt early January. When he went out, they went 1-8 without him. He came back. They weren't good.
I think they had a lot of injuries, though.
To end the season, though, like he missed like 15 of the last 17 games.
He was playing inconsistently.
A lot of guys were in and out the lineup and stuff. I ain't going to knock him for not making no playoffs with it.
Yeah, I mean, no one expected Indiana to do that.
We'll have to come back to this next year,
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I think Trae Young is going to bounce back. I think he's going to have a
he didn't even really have a bad year.
He was good.
It's just efficiency.
He started shitty. He ended.
I'm saying bounce back, and where people are starting to put him back into the conversation where he was before.
Bro, he was
literally been a year.
He was literally a fringe top 10 player. I feel like a good amount.
He was
of people
consensus
had
top
him
5 point guard in the league.
Easy. No, bro, top 3 at worst.
I was being safe.
Facts.
I wouldn't say top 3 because Ja was there.
Last year, he definitely was considered
Steph,
top
Luka,
3.
Ja had a great year last year.
He did, but Trae was better last year.
Well,
you say marginally.
That's what I said. I wouldn't say lock.
Okay,
so
all right.
top 5.
Top 5 is fair. I apologize for that.
What do the Miami Heat need to do to get over the hump?
That's pretty obvious.
It's the offseason's the Heat's
First,
time.
I want to say
this.
this.
Damian Lillard? Is that what you're saying? That's obvious.
Damian fucking Lillard.
All right, man. The Miami fans
every
in the comment
offseason,
section.
they're
bro.
getting some superstar.
They're begging for
We're
me to
getting
say
Michael
that.
Jordan from 1993.
I just seen a Bradley Beal Photoshop in Miami.
I think
Does Miami want that?
Contract's gross.
It's
I don't think
$50
the fit's
million.
bad. The
That's what I'm
contract
saying.
is
Does
bad.
Miami want that?
I wouldn't, but who am I? I'm just a guy that does a shop.
Handsome one.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations to Miami for ruining.
For what? They lost.
Well, I mean, as a Knicks fan, you should feel.
I was gonna say,
Nobody gave me a congrats.
Knicks fans didn't throw pizza parties for
You've done nothing.
1999.
We
You've done
overcame
nothing.
expectations. We were supposed to lose in the first round. Nobody gave me.
Oh my God, you
congrats.
lost in a second. You've done nothing. You've done nothing. You've done nothing. You've done nothing.
He deserved more congratulations to the Knicks. With all due
Congratulations to the Heat for breaking another year of the East bracket and doing things that we didn't think they would do. I want to give credit to Bam.
He was
Bam
great.
It was amazing.
Better than Jimmy
He would have
Butler.
won. I agree.
He was
You get no
easily the
pushback
Heat-
from me on that.
He was easily the Heat's
I
best player
tweeted,
in the finals.
he would have fed families, my family included. So, if he would have won Finals MVP, oh boy, I wish it. But yeah, Bam was amazing. I still think offseason, you need to work on your touch. You miss a lot of open looks. It's really weird. This is
around the rim too.
Yeah,
But
around the
I feel
rim.
like he figured out his offensive game a little bit in the playoffs.
He did,
where
but he would have. He
lived
can
around the
average
rim.
way more than what he does if he just learns how to finish
Clean it
easy
up.
ones
Yeah,
around
yeah.
the looks. The role players came back down to earth. They just couldn't hit shots in the finals. Denver played great defense. I know we're gonna get into Jimmy Butler a little bit soon, but just to talk about what Miami needs, they just need more ball handlers, guys that can put the ball in the basket. I think the dream scenario would be, oh, we can get a number 1 or a primetime superstar like Damian Lillard. But let's be more realistic. You need another guy that can put the ball in the basket while also not being extreme deficient, have extreme deficiencies on the defensive end. You also need guys that can actually dribble outside of Max Strus, Duncan Robinson. No offense to them, they play great, but just running around when they get pressured, they can't get a screen, they can't dribble anymore. You need a little bit of more size. You need a backup big for Bam. You need a rim protector next to Bam. As great as Bam is a defender, you can't have him guarding the perimeter and protecting the rim in the same exact play while also guarding pick and roll. That's a lot to ask for somebody. So I think backup bigs, you need more size on the defensive end. More shooters, of course, is always what everybody needs in this new NBA. I definitely think more size, maybe another bucket.
Is Tyler Hero that bucket?
Do you think about Porzingis?
Because once again, he brings extreme deficiencies on the defensive end. I think you want a guy who doesn't do that. He can be mild defensively, or you can highlight. Even Duncan Robinson, as great as he was on offense, he was getting burned on the defensive end. And then when he couldn't hit shot, I thought sometimes Spo kept him in there too long. He was getting cooked on the defensive end, and he couldn't get open on the offensive end. You need just a couple more buckets. But I think with Miami, they're always so close, yet they always need something, yet they don't make a move at the end of the summer. They just run it back with pretty much. Yeah, they're just always in rumors. They always run it back with the same squad, and they always get to the end, and they're like, we still need something. Duh, you've always been needing something for a long time. Jimmy Butler cannot be your number one. You need another guy next to him that can go get a bucket on offense as a scorer. He cannot be your number one as a scorer. He doesn't. I know people hate bad guys. He does have enough bag in the tricks. It's just
the pump fake isn't working. He's cooked.
Yeah, and then he dribbles around 30 screens to get a jumper. You need more tricks.
Down.
No, it's a fact. You need more tricks in that bag. You need a little hezzy. You need a little come here. You need a little more of that.
No, bro. You sound like a Gen Z.
No,
head,
you need it. I'm telling you, you need it.
Yeah, bro. The hezzy's crazy.
No, maybe not hezzy, but you need the. You need that.
That's what you're losing.
You need something, bro. He gets a post up and just. You need a little turnaround. You need the little step back, side step. You need to go work on your game. But Miami's close. Miami, they're always close. But they need they need a little more.
Wow, what was that?
Bro, I'm referring back to Riv. They're about to come, right?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Now he's playing dumb.
Lost me.
Have they not arrived?
Listen, Riv.
Apparently not.
But credit to Spo. Before you go on your spiel, you're gonna probably hate for 20 minutes. You're probably gonna talk about this random Knicks Heat rivalry that you've only made up. But credit to Spo, credit to Pat Riley, credit to Bam. Shout out to the role players for playing great.
What about Jimmy?
Jimmy, shout out to you for the first 2 rounds.
What about
first round?
He was injured second round. Shout out to you for the first 3 games of Boston. After that, game 7, cool.
Yeah, game 7. That's what I meant.
Finals, you folded, you choked. We'll get on you in a minute. But shout out to the Heat, man. They did it again.
Listen, Riv, I think you said it perfectly. The Heat need a real superstar. A real
This is your fault.
This is your fault.
He was going to do something.
Jimmy Butler is not a real superstar. That's not a knock. There's only a few of those in the NBA. And I remember we had this discussion after round 1 of, when Jimmy Butler had 50.
You went back and looked at the vid. Please tell me you did.
No, I did. Of course I did. I looked at some of the comments.
I want you to tell me what he said exactly.
I didn't. I just looked at the comments.
One of the best of our generation.
Because all of the comments in the vid
my memory
were basically like, "Oh, yes, of course he is, whatever." And it was a hot take considering it was just round 1. That's what I look back to.
Mm-hmm.
Because to be one of the best playoff performers of a generation, you have to win a championship. You have to win a championship. If you're going to be considered with that echelon tier and a group of guys, you have to win a championship. You have to get it done.
All right, Luka done. Not one of the best of our generation.
He's not yet. No, I wouldn't say he is.
He is, bro. He's been ununbelievable in the playoffs.
Would you say that? Is Luka one of the best of our generation?
Every time you have an argument with him,
it's like,
you always bring me into it.
How is that different?
Start asking Joel questions, please.
I'm just curious because we've had this discussion about Hall of Fame in the NFL. If you get a championship, you're a Hall of Famer. Is that not the same argument? If you get a championship, you're a legendary playoff performer?
For the NBA?
Yes.
Wait.
So I'm saying, you know the argument we're having with the NFL with Kirk Cousins. If he wins a championship, Hall of Famer, right? He just needs that chip. Is that not the same thing for the NBA? Is he's not a legendary performer, but all he needs is that championship, and now we're here. He's already on pace. He just got to get that chip, and he's 24.
The chip usually propels you.
Yes.
I don't think before this playoff run, if you were to ask a Showmo, whatever, a Joe Schmo, is Nikola Jokic one of the best playoff performers of our generation? They would probably say no. He's a better playoff performer than Jimmy Butler to that point, even with the given sample size, even before Jokic got the ring. That's why Jimmy's not up there. And it's not a knock. Like the tier we put for those guys.
Why are we gatekeeping?
What do you mean why we're gatekeeping?
You're only making it 6 to 7 guys max.
I'm talking to the same guy that was gatekeeping KD being legendary because he's not Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant.
He's still
or
one
LeBron
of the best.
James.
I gatekeep. I keep that very consistent with my gatekeeping.
So now
legendary.
So gatekeeping for KD is okay, but not for Jimmy Butler. It's okay.
But you're making two different arguments, trying to combine them into one.
No, saying he's one of the best performers of generation
I heard
is an
you.
oxymoron.
I heard you. How about you let me talk?
It is. Because
oxymoron.
If you are one of the best,
do you know what that word even means?
It means
it's all right. I didn't want to do you like that. I apologize. Go ahead.
Listen. If you are one of the best performers of our generation, you're one of the best performers of all time.
That is a fact.
We are in one of the most talented basketball eras ever. If you're not one of the best guys in this era,
I told you we had this conversation.
If you're not one of the best guys all time, you're not one of the best guys in this era.
Top 75 all time. You are already one of the best basketball players of all time. True or false?
That list is fraudulent.
Kawhi Leonard is one of the best performers of a generation. Between him and Jimmy Butler, it is a gap. It is a gap come play on top. That he is in that tier. Steph is in that tier. LeBron is in that tier. Kevin Durant is in that tier.
The goats of our generation.
They're the superstars.
Okay, but
that's why Jimmy's not
Paul
that.
George is better than Dave
one, your brain has put a stranglehold on me saying one of, and you've decided to ignore one of, and just really decided, oh, he's not Kevin. Oh, he's not LeBron. Oh, he's not Steph. Oh, he's not Kawhi. So therefore, it's done. When he's been nothing but great up until the finals, which I'll give you. I'm not blind. He was not anywhere near what he was in the first 2 rounds. Number 1 in clutch points, number 1 in isolation, number 1 in steals. Jimmy Butler. Before the final started. Come on. I did the homework, bro.
You sure?
Yeah, number 1 in clutch points, number 1 in steals, number 1 in ISO points. And he also had an extra round on top of Steph. So
Steph was leading that shit for
he was OD, yes, obviously. But again, he was great the first 3 rounds. He hurt himself in that Knicks series, still played well.
He
struggled games 4, 5, and 6 against the Celtics. But a game that we all thought they would lose, they went on the road. You thought they'd win game 7. Keep it a stack. Game 7, you thought that he would win.
Yes.
Don't lie to me.
I mean, he picked the Heat.
He thought that he would win the series, but you could have sat there.
No, that's not even the point.
Thank you. But then he was amazing in game 7 on the road in Boston. Comes to the finals, bad.
Dog shit.
Really bad. So again, another thing that I wanted to mention.
The most important series of his life. Most important.
Definitely. Well, this one ended in 2020.
Yeah, we're going to put the 2020 under him because obviously Disney World and shit. But
got it.
Played like dog shit, bro. He was garbage.
It wasn't that great.
Defensively, he wasn't locked in. Offensively,
he was solid game 4.
Should have been better.
He was solid game 4. The issue is that down the stretch,
my only issue was that, and the same thing I had an issue with Draymond Green when we played you guys is you brought that fire when the shit was already over. Jimmy brought that fire when the shit was already over. Are you talking about
yesterday?
Yeah.
I was going to say yesterday, down the stretch,
congrats, you finally played great at the fourth quarter, but 3 minutes. If you play like that all game,
but we sat here and say it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
But I'm looking at this.
Agreed.
Usually when it comes to
at least
superstar players,
finished when he did all that shit, the little 15, and he finished. I was like, yeah.
Humbly one of the best.
When it comes to superstar players in the playoffs, most of the time, the reason why they don't get to an NBA championship is 1 or 2 reasons. One is that they don't perform, they don't rise up to the level, to the occasion. Number 2 is because they're not getting enough help from everybody else. Jimmy Butler got help from everybody this playoff run. In the first round, I will say he carried.
Yes.
You got no argument from me. I'm not going to call a man one of the best playoff performers of generation off of a first round series.
Bro, he was the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Arguably.
Barely.
Regardless of whether it was arguable.
That's why I wish Caleb won, because he...
Easy.
So I'm looking.
Regardless of whether it's arguable or not, Jimmy still won the award. Regardless,
was he legendary against the Celtics? Was he one of the best of all time? My bad. Was he one of the best of this generation? Was he one of the best of the generation against Boston? No,
he was really good.
He was fine.
He was okay.
Game 4, Game 5, Game 6, he was mid.
They
Game
literally
3,
almost blew
they
a 3-0
smoked y'all, so it doesn't matter.
What you're not getting
Game 7, he was amazing.
Drew, what you're not understanding is they literally almost blew a 3-0 lead.
I'm not taking that trophy into
They're the 8th seed, and they didn't blow it.
No,
I said they didn't blow it, and they were on the road.
What we're not doing is bringing up their seeding.
Why, bro?
That shit is
the first
dead.
time since
They're in
99.
ECF. It's dead.
I got you.
They're not
but
playing
they
like
didn't
an
lose. So what does it matter?
Because they almost
didn't lose.
Jimmy was dog shit in those 3 games.
Okay, but then when it mattered the most,
congrats,
he was amazing.
You finally ended a series.
What the fuck?
Wait, hold up.
This is not his first time going to the finals.
Who's better in the playoffs?
Game 7.
Who's better in the playoffs?
That's almost 50%.
Who's better in the playoffs for their career? Who's better in the playoffs? Jimmy Butler or Jason Tatum? Who's better in the playoffs for the career?
It's close.
You got to take Jason Tatum's like first
Well, Jimmy Butler's the same way. His first few years in the playoffs, since he wasn't this Jimmy Butler.
It's really both of them their last 4 years. Who would you take?
Can we all agree that it's a close conversation?
It's
a close
1,000%
call.
conversation.
Would we even think about saying Jason Tatum is one of the best performers of our generation?
We're not doing it because he's 25 years old.
But will we even say that? We only, Jimmy Butler's 33, but he's only had 4 years in it.
So talk about Luka.
Luka, to this point, has played at that level.
Unbelievable.
But right now, we're looking at Luka. First year in the playoffs, 1 series. Second year in the playoffs, 1 series. Third year in the playoffs, he won 2 playoff series. We're talking about him only having 5 playoff series. No, Luka's not one of the greatest performers of our generation. Does he perform like one? Yes.
I think Tatum's
Is he one? No, he's not.
More efficient, scoring more, rebounding more.
No, I think I would lean. Tatum has been. I mean, he's
to
been
be fair,
so
he's
good.
been on a
he
better
just had a bad
team.
finals too.
One guy doesn't have a.
But honestly,
number
Jason
two,
Tatum
so
was kind of. He was. I look at it. Tatum was better last year than Butler was this year in the finals.
Yeah.
And this is the thing with Jimmy Butler.
He's a true number 2. Respect him.
He was. I said he was.
Oh, I thought you said wasn't.
No, I said Tatum has a true number 2. Okay.
Is Bam not number 2?
Not really. Defensively,
offensively.
I mean, in the finals, he basically did what Jalen Brown did.
He was the best player in the world to me.
The reason why we make these narratives with Jimmy Butler is because he's been an underdog and he's overachieved. But when you compare what he's done to other players that we slander and that we don't don't put at that pedestal just yet, he's not one of the all-time greats in the playoffs.
That is who he's talking about.
We talk about Jimmy Butler. 4 years in Miami, first year, 12 points in Game 6 in the NBA Finals. Second year, gets eliminated in the first round, swept, outscored by Brent Forbes.
I'm sorry.
The tweet.
Riv, hold on. Let me ask you. Did the Heat not have a chance to go to the finals last year?
They did. Who
missed the fucking shot to go to the finals?
They were down.
Who missed the goddamn shot?
Double digits with what?
Who missed the shot to go to the finals? It was Jimmy Butler that missed the shot to go to the finals.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
To be fair,
the run they went on.
Who had a legendary Game 6 in TD Garden the game before that?
Jimmy Butler did.
Who had a legendary game 5 of the NBA Finals to give them an extra game?
Last time I checked, it only matters if you fucking win. That's because KD, we slandered him for having 49 in Game 7 and not getting him overtime shots. But with Jimmy Butler, he misses the shot to go to the finals. Wait, and we not slandering him? What are we talking about?
Did Jimmy Butler go 0 for 6 in that fourth quarter in Game 7?
You're the one that said
shot. He missed the most important shot. He missed the most important shot to go to the finals.
Kevin Durant missed every important shot.
He scored 49 points in Game 7. The most at that time in NBA history. Did Jimmy Butler have that many points at that time in Game 7 versus Boston? No, he did not. He did not. He missed the shot. And then this year in the finals, he was dog shit. He was damn ball playing better than him. So the one time he does not get help, Jimmy Butler did not perform in the finals. Let's stop babying him because other superstar players will get slandered, will get called a choker, will get called not a true number 1 option. Jimmy Butler is not a true number 1 option.
Look.
I'm not amused.
Jimmy Butler's not a true number 1 option.
Joel, let me ask you, Joel, what you fail to understand is that you're getting mad at Jimmy Butler for missing a shot and saying, oh, we don't do this to Kevin Durant. The difference between those two scenarios is Kevin Durant missed every important shot in overtime. Jimmy Butler did not. Jimmy Butler was great in Game 7. He missed that one shot. And I agree. Yes, he fucked up. I felt like he should have went to the basket. It was most important. Kevin Durant missed 6 important shots. I'm gonna let you go in a second.
Thank you.
Kevin Durant missed 6 important shots in overtime. That's the big difference. But I'm not disagreeing with Jimmy. He should have made that shot. It happens. But it's not the same situation.
What's the context of that situation, though? Because I understand Jimmy Butler. He may have not missed the 6 shots that KD.
Well, the Heat were down like 12 with 5 minutes left.
He may have not missed the 6 shots KD missed. But we got to understand, at that point, Kevin Durant played every single minute of Game 7 versus the minutes.
Joel, I hate to do this too. Jimmy Butler played 48 minutes.
Okay, I'm just talking about KD. KD played every single minute of that game. KD did not have the supporting cast in that game that Jimmy had versus Boston. What do you mean? Bam Adebayo would have been the second best player on KD on those Nets teams because James Harden was out. James Harden was injured. He had a grade 2 hamstring. James Harden was like 6 for 21.
No, you're right. That's my fault. I forgot.
How many wide open looks did he miss?
James Harden? A shit ton. He had chances to close out the game and he did not.
He's a choker.
I'm not defending James Harden. You never
just told me that Bam Adebayo was better than him. That's the shit that's
a healthy Bam Adebayo is definitely better than a grade 2 hamstring.
Wide open shots that I'm not ignoring.
Does it not matter if you don't get lift on your jump shots when you're playing with a grade 2 hamstring? Does that not matter?
Let's get back to the point.
Okay.
So another point that I wanted to make, talking about Jimmy Butler, because we went on last year when again you told me that Jimmy Butler outplayed Jason Tatum last year, but now we're going to criticize him for missing the shot. Another thing that I want to mention, talking about this ECF, how we went to Game 7, sure, because we forget that it was a miraculous Derek White putback after who gave them the lead.
Okay.
After he scored how many points in a row for the Miami Heat?
Most of them the free throw stuff?
Of course.
It was a combination of both.
Getting a bunch of bailout.
I forgot about the Derek White.
Regardless of that fact, he put his team in a position to win the game. And if it wasn't for a miraculous ass putback, which was amazing, it was awesome to see. I was happy that a Game 7 was forced. What we can't ignore is that Jimmy Butler left the offensive side with the lead.
Oh, I'm not ignoring it. Miami versus Boston, Miami in 7, Miami in 6. The point is he was dog shit in the finals. He played like shit in the finals.
He did.
That's what fucking matters. I don't care that he beat Boston. Boston, y'all wasn't even a legit team.
You picked Boston to win. Oh, you can't do that.
This is the shit that I'm done with.
You had chemistry issues all year. What are we talking about?
You picked Boston to win.
Oh, of course. Miami won, but in the series that Jimmy needed to be great,
good.
He was not good.
He wasn't good.
He was not good.
He was worse than Tatum.
Riv, I'm sorry that you have to be included in this.
No, it's fine.
The three of us, we didn't give Miami a chance to win this series. We didn't.
Against Denver?
I said it 5 games. It's over. The Denver Nuggets are better than the Miami Heat. Okay. We didn't give them a chance. So now we're going to crucify Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler played like shit. It doesn't.
I'm not doing that.
When did I say Jimmy is criticized for losing? I don't care that he lost. I care that he played like shit in the finals.
I think
that's what I care about.
So then we're throwing away. We're throwing away the ECF. We're throwing away round 1. We're throwing away round 2. Didn't happen. No, that's what's happening.
Outside of the first round of the playoffs, Jimmy Butler was not exceptional.
He was good against the Knicks, though.
He was good. He was good. He was not exceptional.
He wasn't exceptional against the Celtics.
He had games.
That's
what he is. He's inconsistent.
Game 1, he was exceptional.
Game 2 was crazy.
Game 2, he took the game over. Game 3, I wish I could say that he
blew him out.
It was a fucking bloodbath.
We're talking about 4 years straight. Jimmy Butler has not been able to get it done.
Wait a minute.
If we talk about it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Stop.
It matters.
You cannot be looked at as the best team and still win.
Question: do we scrutinize LeBron James for losing to the KD Warriors? No. So why the fuck are we gonna blame Jimmy Butler for not beating the Lakers team that were heavy favorites? Why are we gonna crucify Jimmy Butler for losing to the Milwaukee Bucks?
We're comparing the Denver Nuggets to the KD Warriors as comp?
Doing that. What I'm simply
LeBron
doing.
with Kyrie and K-Love got one game.
Joel, shut up and listen to me speak, because all you're doing is talking and not listening. What I'm saying is, if you are the underdog, why are we going to heavily scrutinize you? That's all the point was.
For not playing well.
No, but again, what my point is, we're forgetting what he did in rounds 3, rounds 2, and rounds 1, because he was not good in a series that he already was not supposed to win.
Do people give Tatum that same benefit from the doubt from last season?
Sure doesn't.
I gave him nothing but...
You were the favorites. It's different.
Yeah, but...
I'm sorry,
that's it.
Bullshit.
No,
I thought it was a toss-up.
ESPN
100% fucked you.
Rev Dehls. What you're trying to do is you're trying to take the easy way out, Drew.
What?
When it comes to players you like, you baby them like
I don't even like Jimmy Butler like that.
Durant.
Jimmy Butler's a favorite player of mine. Let me ask you. The entire playoff run, you want to highlight that. I understand you're doing a good guy kind of thing. In the finals, all everybody remembers is the finals if you make it that far. That's true.
LeBron James in 2011, do we remember his playoff run to the Mavericks when he lost? Or do we just remember the Mavericks
loss? Let me ask you a question.
What do we remember?
Do we not remember the 2018 postseason run from LeBron James?
Because he carried dog shit players.
Correct.
That's why.
But ultimately, this team was the 8th seed. This was the 8th seed.
Dehls, as you even admitted it wasn't a backpack.
I said it's not. I'm not saying it is.
Dehls, was Jason
This was
Tatum,
the 8th seed.
Was Jason Tatum
this
last
not a
year?
Good team.
Was Jason Tatum last year great through the first 3 rounds?
Yeah,
he was amazing.
Do people just look at the finals and criticize him?
Yeah,
okay,
frequently
because he was dog shit. That's what we're talking about with Jimmy Butler.
It matters if you perform well in the finals, and he didn't.
You want to know
well.
the difference? Here's the difference.
Was the Lakers good, Drew? Drew, was the Lakers good?
They were the second seed.
We're not
Drew,
was the Lakers good?
Huh?
Was the Lakers good
this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you great?
Yeah,
we're borderline an elite team, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You were a 7 seed. Stop using seeding goes out the window when the playoffs
when
started.
They beat the
Bucks were number 1.
But here's the issue: the regular season to the postseason, everything that the Miami Heat did good in the postseason, they were terrible at.
I agree. That's why you should throw out the seeding when it comes to because they were not an 8th seed in the playoffs.
They weren't even close to it.
They elevated.
Were they
something
the
switched.
Knicks? The Heat. Would they beat the Cavs?
What are you talking about, though?
I'm saying they're the 8 seed, but damn, they beat every fucking team that was better than them.
Okay, that's a credit to them, though.
But that's
are we
why
really using an AC argument as a crux? Are we
We're not just
No.
discrediting the team.
I'm using it as a crux when you're trying to talk about Jason Tatum as opposed to Jimmy Butler. Because you're saying
sense.
It makes very obvious sense.
Because my point is not Tatum versus Butler. My point is the finals is what matters the most.
Stop fucking talking.
You should, because you're not making any sense right now.
Because you're not allowing me to fucking talk.
I'm saying the finals matters. Counter that point. The finals matters.
It's done.
The finals matters.
Because again, like I'm saying, Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics, to most, were favorites.
I agree.
They were favorites to win the series. Tatum underperformed.
Yes.
No one believed that the Miami Heat were better than the Denver Nuggets. Riv, I'm sorry. It's unfortunate that you had that claim to the Miami Heat winning the series. No one believed it. Almost no one, I'll say, because again, Riv exists. Again, he did not play well. No one's excusing that. But again, we can't just say that he's no longer a superstar because he played bad. We didn't take LeBron's superstar fucking status after he was dog shit in 2011.
Jimmy Butler's
I would like to say
of
something.
course.
I would like to say something. I think
Damian Lillard lost his fucking superstar status.
I think.
Do you have Damian
his
as
number
superstar?
his number one status
Here we go.
was taken away.
Hey, fellas. Okay.
Wait, hold up, Rick. I just want to say this.
I mean, no one really thinks Dame could be number one championship team.
Is he not a superstar? You're saying he's not a superstar. That was the ultimate claim that started this whole fucking argument.
The ultimate claim was that the finals is what people remember most. That's the ultimate claim. That's one. That's what remembers most. It doesn't matter if you're a favorite or you're the underdog.
If you get to the championship.
I'm not criticizing Jimmy for losing. Nobody is saying Miami should have won. Nobody said Miami should have won. We're just saying Jimmy Butler shouldn't have had his worst playoff series in the finals, which he did. You look at round 1, round 2, round 3, the finals. Jimmy Butler was the worst.
He got worse.
Every series he got worse.
I'm telling you, he was good against the Celtics.
Yeah, but his efficiency went down. His points per game went down every series.
You are stuck on this narrative that we're thinking, or I'm thinking that the Heat should have won this series.
I'm not saying that.
Or they should have made it more competitive.
That's not what I'm saying. You failed to listen to me.
I'm saying Jimmy Butler should have played better. And ultimately,
he should have.
Every playoff run we look at the finals, and that's what we judge you on, the ultimate one. You can have a great playoff run to that finals. If you don't perform in that finals, that's what gets remembered. LeBron in 07, he was a heavy underdog to the Spurs.
Sure.
He led that team to the finals.
Absolutely.
Even when he got swept and he was getting double teamed like crazy, people still knock LeBron James for that finals. Am I wrong or am I right?
People knock him for that. And all people do is talk about the performance against the Pistons when he scored 25 straight.
At the time, they definitely knocked him for that. And we right now we live in
it was 2007. How old were we? You guys remember that?
I remember the talks about it.
There was definitely
for sure. We saw LeBron can't get it done as the guy.
That was in 2011 when he lost to the Mavericks.
That was even after 2009 when he lost to the Celtics.
But that was before he was an MVP. He wasn't even MVP then.
But that happened repeatedly. That happened in that series, 07. That happened against the Magic, and I think
that's why
happened in
that was different. Was such a big deal.
My whole point is exactly that wasn't the conversation in 07 because he wasn't even MVP then. Agreed. You could say that he said that was the conversation against the Magic. Shouldn't have lost that one against the Celtics in 2010. That team was very good. Shouldn't have lost that one.
It wasn't the loss. He didn't play good. That was where the conversation was
against
brewing.
The Magic.
No, I'm talking about against the Spurs. That's when the conversation started brewing. And I think the disconnect in this conversation here is that we have Jimmy Butler placed in a place where he shouldn't be. And I think that is the issue at hand in all of this discourse against Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler put himself in a unlucky spot. He, to a degree, overachieved with his team. The Heat in general overachieved.
Not to a degree.
Well, he
performed to a level that he couldn't consistently
to be fair, nobody, not many people in NBA history could do that type of thing. So he did that. He overachieved. The Heat overachieved. Now they put themselves in a position where now they're being judged unfairly. Jimmy Butler is being judged with the Steph Currys, with the Giannis's, with the Joke. When in reality, he shouldn't be in that conversation anyway.
He's not a superstar.
I would put him like a tier 2 guy.
Yeah, he's not a tier 1 guy.
Yeah, he's not a tier 1 guy.
He's not a true superstar. Am I right in saying that? He's not a true superstar.
But tier 1 is so exclusive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you say that, I'm not going to be mad about it. It's a fact. Like, he's not a number 1 guy, and that's okay. But the problem is people act like he is a number 1 guy. He talks shit like he's a number 1 guy.
He guaranteed wins.
Yeah, so now, on top of that, you're getting the criticism of a Steph, who would get the same criticism if he lost, a LeBron, the Joker, a Giannis. They get the same criticism. Kevin Durant, you get the same criticism.
Honest question. Did people call Clyde Drexler a superstar?
At that time, yes.
Okay. What's the difference?
I'm so confused.
Clyde Drexler went to Houston, ended up winning his championship. But when he was on the Blazers, was he able to complete the job?
No.
Okay. So, but he was still labeled a superstar. Didn't get the job done.
That's good. That was more because he was a top 8 player in the planet.
He was amazing. Absolutely. Jimmy Butler's not in that top 10 conversation.
Fringe.
I think do we consider Tatum a true superstar?
Devin Booker's better than Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
I don't think
That's
we
a
do.
superstar. It's an All-NBA in the first team.
Back-to-back years.
I mean, All-NBA, I don't think All-NBA really truly defines a superstar. Like,
why isn't Tatum superstar? Does never ring?
I mean, we just mentioned it. The tier 1 superstars are exclusive.
Tier 1 might literally just be Giannis, Jokic, Steph.
Yeah, that
and LeBron.
Maybe.
No, tier 1 superstars.
Right now?
He's a superstar. It's LeBron James.
Is he tier 1? I mean, we're talking about Jokic.
Okay,
Can LeBron still win as the best player on the planet? I mean, on his team. Yes.
Probably.
So I would say he's a tier
Anthony
1.
Davis is not a superstar.
I just think tier 1 is so exclusive.
I think that's a tier 2.
I agree too.
But I think
And it's not even
I'm not putting LeBron's same tier as Jokic.
That's fair. Okay. Well, even in I agree. I think the tier 1s is for a fact Joker, Giannis, Steph. So even if you want to make pushback, we just admitted the tier 1 guys are literally those 3 guys. So Tatum is not above it.
There's a pretty
Tatum
big,
is not a part of that.
Fuck?
Like Tatum is not a part of that.
Bro, I'm sorry.
more than
So
those
now
three
there's
guys
only
win a
3
championship.
superstars in the
No,
world.
I was just saying those are just
No,
tier
getting
1.
something
Because
on
he
the
said
semantics
tier
here.
2 for Butler.
There's a tier within
I'm not
superstar.
them or me.
You.
There's no semantics to me. I'm not trying to do the tier. Now we're talking tiers. That's semantics.
Is there not a tier? Is Joel Embiid? Excuse my language. Is Jason Tatum on the same level as Steph and Joker?
No, but you can still be
but they're both superstars.
All right,
That's
you
what I'm
guys
saying.
are talking
There's
tier
tiers.
1s. Okay, thank you.
That's what.
So
That's
now,
what I
no,
said.
you said I'm stuck on semantics.
Jimmy Butler's not Devin Booker on the offensive side of the ball.
He's
Doesn't
Devin
need to
Booker's an offensive superstar.
Yes.
Jimmy Butler's not that, and that's why he can't be the number 1 option on this Heat team because he cannot generate that.
I think it's
offense
hard because
enough.
their number 2 is Bam, who's a
And
defensive
also,
guy.
And also, I want to say, because this is another good example, because when you look at the past 15 years of the NBA Finals, it's kind of been the same teams, but this was one of the years where it wasn't.
Facts.
Warriors going in to face the Raptors in the finals.
Yeah.
Who was favored in that finals? Was it kind of even? It was like a toss-up?
Yeah, I think so.
Did Steph play?
The
What?
KD Warriors?
No,
KD
no.
was
Kawhi.
injured.
Oh.
Kevin Durant's hurt.
KD was
okay,
injured.
Kevin Durant's hurt.
Did Steph play well in that series?
He played good.
Did he get slandered for not making
Yes.
clutch
He
shots?
literally got slandered for not making that game 6 shot.
So why are we not slandering Jimmy
He
Butler right
averaged
now?
30.
That's what I'm saying.
got boxed
All I'm
and
saying
won.
is that if we're putting Jimmy Butler in the conversation of one of the greatest platforms of generation, if people want to put him in that superstar tiers,
there were expectations for those
expectations for Jimmy
Warriors.
Butler.
Exactly.
No, his expectations to play well. Not
That's
to win.
fine. No,
Gotta
I agree
play
with
well.
you. I agree with that.
If people got hell bent on Steph missing an open curl around 3-point shot to win a game versus the Raptors, even though before that he played amazing that game, why can I get hell bent when Jimmy Butler misses the game 7 shot to send his team to the finals?
Drew, my question
I can feel the same. That's the same energy.
I want to ask a genuine question because you said when I said there's no expectation for Jimmy Butler, you said exactly. Here's the thing
compared to Steph.
But here's the thing.
And the Warriors.
You have just said you don't really do the tiers in between. You're a superstar. You're a superstar.
Correct.
Okay, fine. If that's the case, Steph is a superstar the same way as Jimmy Butler is a superstar in your mind, right?
They're both superstars.
Okay, so expectations come with being a superstar. No matter how much you underachieve, no matter if you're not supposed to be there, the expectations come with. If anything else is true, you have to be great.
Agreed.
You have to be elite.
I agree.
When we talked about Kevin Durant against the Denver Nuggets, we said he didn't play well to Kevin Durant's standards. Because when you become a superstar, when you get put that title, you have to play well. Jimmy Butler has to get the same type of slander because he not only he not played well.
You guys are trying to say that
it doesn't matter.
Let me ask you a question. Have I sat here and say Jimmy Butler played good in the finals?
I think you're being nice about it.
Did I? Answer the question.
Give an excuse for why he didn't play well.
Did I say Jimmy Butler played well in the finals?
But you're trying to bring up the other 3 series to kind of.
Why am I doing that?
Don't know why.
I'm doing that because you guys are trying to strip him of what he has earned.
What has he earned?
He has played great in these playoffs.
He got no championship.
He was great.
What the fuck is he?
So then James Harden's not a superstar. James Harden is not a superstar. Done. Throw it away.
That doesn't mean he hasn't earned nothing. Wait, hold up. But
it's on the postseason.
Wait, hold up. In the postseason, has James Harden earned something?
No.
I will admit he hasn't earned shit in the playoffs. That's why I want him to get a championship. But in the regular season,
you're
we're
looking
talking
at
about
the underachieving role as earning something, right?
This year specifically.
This year, you're looking at if you underachieve like that, you earn something, correct?
Correct.
You don't get a badge.
Is that wrong?
You don't get a badge of honor for losing in the finals as an 8 seed. You don't get a badge of honor. You lost.
No one's saying I'm not praising them for losing. The fuck do I look like?
You just said in this same breath.
I get what you're saying.
Because you're stripping Jimmy Butler of superstar status.
He's not a superstar.
Name 10 better.
Rip. I don't think there's 10 legit superstars in the league, but I'll name my superstars in a bit. Riv just asked you, so in your mind, you think Steph's superstar like Jimmy is a superstar, and you said yes. So you're telling me Jimmy's the same type of superstar as Steph Curry?
Who the didn't
delusion, he say that? Didn't he say that?
No, I said I don't want to get into tiers.
Superstars.
Like it's.
But that's why I brought
that's
up the
what I'm
tiers,
saying.
because
They
Steph
both is a tier above.
There's tiers.
They both can't be
superstars.
superstars.
There's tiers. It's just the league
There's
is too
better
talented.
players. There's just obviously better players. You can still be a superstar and not be better than
They
another
can't be
guy.
both superstars. As
Joel
one is a
Embiid.
tier above.
Joel Embiid is
Can
a
Jimmy Butler be the
superstar.
best
No,
player?
he's
not
not.
that-
Embiid is not a superstar.
He just won MVP.
He doesn't perform in the
He was
playoffs.
first.
Can Jimmy Butler be
Oh
the
my
best player?
God, I'm losing my mind
Can
because
Jimmy-
I swear to God,
Jimmy
it's like
Butler-
you
can
guys
Jimmy-
just forget everything that
Can
happens.
Jimmy Butler be the best player on the championship team?
He just went to 2. It's unfortunate that they lost to both of the teams. I don't know. It's tough. It depends. The teams that they went into,
If they
both
get
were
a number,
inferior.
if they get another guy,
I think he can be.
Okay, if they get another guy, does it have to be better than Jimmy for
No.
them to win?
No,
So a little bit lower.
I think he just needs to be a yes. Yes.
Okay. If that's your answer, that's fine.
Yes.
Okay. I think
Because if Jimmy wasn't on offensively, they were cooked.
Wait, I'm crazy for saying Embiid's not a superstar?
Yes. It's fucking Joel Embiid,
The
bro.
playoffs, he does not show up.
I would say
He's been injured almost every single
Is that
postseason.
ever going to change? He's going to be 30, and he's still 7'2", 280, and has lower body injuries.
Joel
He's
Embiid's
not gonna get
28. Am I
healthier.
wrong? He's 28 years old.
Who?
Joel Embiid. He's turning 30.
Turning 30, yeah.
So he's 29.
Yeah, he'll be 30 next year.
I'm not forgetting
before
what
playoffs.
Embiid did, but while in the same breath acknowledging that in the regular season he's been great, the superstar players separate themselves in the postseason.
Better question. Why did Jimmy Butler become a superstar in your eyes? Because of the what?
The postseason.
So why? So
And he was All NBA this year.
fuck the All NBA. He became a superstar because of the postseason
Correct.
and what
Well,
he has
last
done.
year he was also
Joel
great.
Embiid is
And he was also great the
okay,
first
that's
postseason
fine.
run also.
So postseason, just postseason.
Mhm.
Joel Embiid is dying on that hill of just that MVP in the regular season. He has
gotten
not lived up
hurt.
to superstar billing
Because he's
in
gotten
the post.
hurt. True or false?
Sometimes yes.
the
sometimes
same
not.
way.
Torn ligament in his hand. Fucked
When
up
is
knee
that shit
this
going
year.
to change, bro?
But that has nothing to do with
We
him,
can't
though.
go
In
every
terms
year
of
he
how
gets
great
hurt?
he
Toronto got
is.
hurt?
Yes, he had the
did.
torn ligament in his
He has
thumb.
some
We
torn
can't go
ligaments.
5-6 years of Embiid again.
Every
Like
year
it's
is-
unfortunate.
everybody's
No,
hurt.
we-
Everybody's
it's
hurt.
unfortunate.
You can crit.
Everybody's
You
hurt.
cannot like his game, or you cannot.
Did he miss any games
die-
this
you-
year against the Celtics? Round 2.
What about
No.
2019 when
played.
he got locked
Missed
up by
game
Marcus
one.
Excuse me,
Gasol?
missed game 1. The other 6 games, he did not. He was not MVP
Again,
Embiid.
he played through a fucked up
But don't
knee
we say
injury.
if you're out there on the court, we're
Availability is
judging
the
it?
best
I'm
ability,
not
right?
disagreeing with you guys there. Listen, again, like we had the conversation earlier with Zion. If you want to hold it against him that he gets hurt, I get it. But it's undeniable when he's healthy, he's amazing.
In the
He's
regular
just
season.
MVP.
In the regular season.
But he's
Has he
always
ever
been
been-
hurt.
Has he ever been consistently an MVP for a consistent run in the playoffs?
The answer is no.
That's a problem.
But
That's
it's
a legit
because
problem.
Majority. Let me not say always. Majority. He's been injured.
I like that you said that because even when he was healthy in 2019, he got locked up by Marcus Gasol.
I agree.
If
That's
he
why I
plays
said
better,
majority.
if he plays
That's why I said
better,
majority.
if he plays better, they make the conference finals and maybe the finals that year.
That Toronto defense was damn good. So good that they also locked up
I'm
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Is it not fair to say that if we are promoting Jimmy Butler to a superstar because of the playoffs, we are not then demoting Joel Embiid for not performing in the playoffs?
Again, but he's gotten hurt. It's an unfortunate thing to do to him because his body doesn't hold up.
At some point, you just gotta perform. At some point,
Listen,
you
I'm
just
with
have
you,
to
but again,
perform.
I find it harsh. You guys can say I'm playing the good guy. I'll fucking die on that hill now. Fuck it. But it's harsh to strip a guy of his superstar status after he won MVP 2 seasons in a row, back-to-back, second place, because his body can't hold up in the postseason. So Chris Paul was never a superstar because his body couldn't hold up in the postseason?
No. That's no. Revisionist history. Chris Paul was always a superstar because he elevated every team he was on.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
Joel
every single
Embiid was the start of the process. Philadelphia is something because of Joel Embiid.
When's the process gonna end?
What do you mean? The process is over.
Is
It's
the process
it's
ever
a
gonna
different
reach
type
its
of.
high, the peak? It's
This
ever.
This is the process. Second
They
round.
haven't reached DCF
And
because
Chris
again,
Paul-
and I
he's
still
been
think Embiid is
injured.
a top 10 player in the world.
And
I
also
still
the
believe
He's a
difference-
that.
top 7 at worst.
And also,
he's
the
got to do
difference,
some shit in the
just
playoffs.
MVP, bro. His
Well,
body.
But don't we all say that it was a fucking
Joker has an MVP.
bro?
Y'all understand? Why do
But
we
he was
care
back
about
to
that?
back second place. I'm not. No one's throwing a fucking parade
Do
for
you
it.
think,
But again,
do you think
he's
Embiid's
good
going to
enough
get healthy and just one of these years just going to be healthy for a
if
playoff
he is
run?
healthy
I have a
for
hard time believing
all right,
it.
I would say okay, but you said the same shit for Anthony Davis, and he was healthy and he was fucking phenomenal. So I don't want to hear that.
Embiid, you said AD's better than Embiid.
You did.
I do still believe that. That
So
has
then
nothing to do with anything.
So where's
though.
Embiid ranked for you?
AD's the issue with AD.
Embiid.
Okay,
Is
again,
Embiid above Butler?
yes,
Is AD above Butler?
no, he
Okay.
can't be.
Okay.
He
Wait,
can't
but
be.
AD's above Embiid.
It's listen. My personal preference of Anthony Davis when he's healthy is different though, because
I'm
when
saying
he's
AD
healthy,
healthy.
he's on.
I'm saying AD healthy.
I'm taking him over Joel Embiid for sure.
Okay. And Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's what I'm asking. I'm not healthy. That's
No,
what I'm asking.
absolutely. But again, that's when he's on. We saw what he can do.
Okay. I agree.
The Lakers-
I'm fine with that take.
Yes,
I just
I
wanted to
know.
make sure you were consistent.
No,
That's
absolutely.
all.
I
Okay.
stay consistent with that. Anthony Davis is my guy. When he's
So
healthy,
Jimmy's
he's better.
10 for you?
Jimmy is a top 10 player for
And
sure.
Embiid's like 7.
I have Embiid 7 in that 6-7 range.
Well, just off that ranking, you can see what a disconnect is here because I don't think Embiid is a superstar player. So if you have Butler below Embiid, which I would have Butler over Embiid, by the way, given a playoff run, but I still don't think that Butler's a superstar player.
That's hot. I
I
don't
don't,
know.
think, I don't think I would
Embiid-
have him. I don't think I have Butler over Embiid.
Because Embiid choked
That's-
mightily in the playoffs. He did.
He was hurt.
He
was
that's
playing
been
through an
his
obvious-
But
So
that's
why
been the
is that
reoccurring theme
choking?
for him.
Wait.
What do you mean?
Can I
He
actually-
choked versus
wait.
Atlanta.
Quick question.
No facts.
Tatum,
But he was also
Tatum was hurt last postseason against the Warriors. Do you use that as why he choked? Answer. No, you don't.
Yeah,
No,
it's
stop.
not. It's not. There's no way you cannot say, "Hey, Jason Tatum was obviously injured," and not use it to at least kind of.
But do you still
give him
say he
some
played
kind of
bad?
leeway. Well, he did play bad.
So
sure.
then you need to
But
keep
again,
the same energy with Embiid.
I am. But again, you're taking his. We're doing it again with another player where you're
this
stripping
one's a little
his
different.
superstar status.
No, we are.
This is way different.
The regular season and the postseason. I understand what you're saying, but the regular season and the postseason are 2 different seasons. The difference with Jimmy Butler is, I guess what you're trying to say is he's trying to script the first 3 rounds. The difference with Embiid is we are saying, fuck the regular season when you're a top 10 player. These players play to win championships and be elite in the playoffs. And that is one guy that is in the top 10 that we have yet to see be a consistent MVP in a run. That's a fact.
And Anthony
because
Davis
he's been hurt.
Even when Kawhi's hurt, when he comes back, we all know he's still a fucking dog. He just gets
Kawhi
hurt.
Leonard a superstar?
Yes, when he's healthy and on, for sure.
So why isn't that fair to say for Joel Embiid?
Because when have you seen him
Because
well
he's
be
never been
healthy?
At least
No, I
Kawhi's
agree
healthy
with
at some
that.
point in his
But
career.
again, he's
been a
not
while.
healthy.
But
We
because
give
the difference with
Kawhi
Kawhi
because
is
he's
he
done it.
when he
Agreed.
come-
He's
no,
done
no,
it.
it's not even when
Kawhi
he
is a
does-
superstar.
No, fuck that. It's not even when he's
Bro,
done it.
Kawhi's
When
about to
Kawhi-
be Phoenix in the first round.
Kawhi,
Before
when
he got
he's
hurt.
back, when he comes, every time he comes back,
Course.
and he's on the
He's
court.
amazing.
there is-
He's the best
He's
player on the
he's the
court.
He's
best player on the court
amazing.
every
We've
time he
seen
comes
it when
back.
Joel Embiid's healthy. He's amazing.
Not in the
Postseason?
playoffs. Not in the playoffs. You
That's
can't
what
name
we're
me one
talking
great
about 4
postseason run.
years ago.
No, we're talking
You
about right
can't
now.
name me one
2019
healthy,
was the
great
Was he
last
good
postseason
time
against
run.
Brooklyn?
Embiid?
Yeah.
He was solid.
I thought he was pretty mid.
No, Harden was mid.
No, Embiid was mid as fuck, too.
okay.
Pull it up. Let me know.
He didn't average
And then he
25
wasn't-
points.
It was a sweep,
he
so
was-
I didn't think
He
anything
was good
of it.
against the Celtics, but he wasn't MVP.
And
No,
Anthony
again, but he
Davis
was
and
also playing
Embiid
through
is
a
a
knee
different
injury.
conversation because Anthony Davis, what the Pelicans showed us that as an underdog 6 seed, they
Yes.
swept the Blazers
Mhm.
and he was amazing. When they faced the Warriors, he was a 29-10 guy.
He was great.
He was uber efficient. And then when he was healthy for the Lakers in the bubble, he was arguably
second best in the
co-MVP
league. Correct.
with LeBron James. So
He was mid.
Anthony Davis
Yeah,
showed
fine.
Anthony Davis showed us that in the playoffs when he's on and he's
course.
healthy, he is that guy.
Of course.
Embiid has yet to show us when he's healthy, he's that guy because he's had healthy playoff appearances and he's not been good in those either.
Against Brooklyn, he had 26 and 5 on 7 of 15 shooting. He had 20 and 19 on 6 of 11 shooting, 14 and 10 on 5 of 13 shooting. He missed game 4.
They won by 20. They won by 12.
1 by 5.
did
one
he
by
how
Every
many
game
minutes
for
did he
that
play in
Brooklyn
this one?
series was
37. That's a
competitive
good
for the
amount.
most part.
The
Game
first
1
half.
was not.
First half, yeah.
First half, yeah. Second half, they blew it up.
Those games, Embiid
Maxey.
was not good. And Embiid, it was because he was not good because they were blitzing him with double teams.
He cannot figure out a
We're
double
talking about a
team.
player who still can't figure out double teams. Like, listen,
That's true.
Embiid in a regular season is a phenomenal player. I'm not taking that away from him.
You just
But-
said he's not a superstar.
Yeah, I
in
wouldn't
the-
go with that.
In a regular season, he could be considered a regular season superstar. Hold up, Riff. James Harden in a vacuum, playoff superstar, yes or no?
Like in general, like his whole career?
In general.
You said Embiid in the playoffs?
No, I said Harden.
Oh, my bad.
I would say, yeah. It's like 3 different. I think Houston, yes.
You got to think about it, though.
Yeah, I do have
Houston,
to think about
yes.
it.
But
Houston,
Embiid is a no question that he's not in the playoffs.
Not even the thought process.
And we cannot just act like that does not exist. The reason why for years I had Jokic over Embiid was because in the regular season he matched the production, and in the playoffs Jokic was that guy. He ups his level.
It's basically Steph and Dame, like you said before. It's Steph and Dame.
Jokic, did he not roll his ankle in the finals, and did he not still continue to dominate?
Yeah, I mean, it was a slight ankle.
I mean, it was like I understand, but at this point in the season, maybe Embiid's injuries might
Kawhi
be.
played with an ACL tear at 30?
Only time that Joel Embiid might have been healthy in the playoffs was 2019.
That's not good.
He was not good. That Toronto defense was fantastic, so good that the very next series they locked up Giannis.
So how do we rank him off to just his regular season?
We just listen. I'm not asking for much. I'm really not.
I'm asking you, and I'm
just a superstar. That's what I need.
But
so he's Jokic.
He's a
what the fuck is going on with your brain today, Joel?
No, I'm asking because
your brain is fucking fried.
He's not doing.
Embiid and Jokic are both superstars.
Yeah, but he's just his.
No, listen. You said I'm not into. You said I'm the one getting into semantics.
You
said that's what I was doing
in basketball.
He's not doing that. He's just being broad about it. He wants to be broad about it.
You said that I was getting into semantics. There is a difference. That's what you're doing.
There is a difference between All NBA and All Star. Is there not a difference? An All NBA performer is different than an All Star. No, the same way a Tier 1 superstar is different than a Tier 2 star.
But he said earlier he doesn't want to get into semantics right now. He just wants to be broad.
But just between us, are we?
There's tiers, of course. Okay. There's tiers of who's better than other players. I'm not. Like, bro, just use common sense.
That's because you're saying, oh, all these 10 guys are superstars, but there's a different tier. If one, the same way where when we had that KD debate and you said, well, KD's not legendary because Kobe, MJ are all legendary.
I'm very semantic.
There was a difference in tiers.
There's great. He's still great in the playoffs. Who? Kevin Durant. He's still great in the playoffs. To say he's not legendary, to say he's not Mike, to say he's not Kobe.
Is Embiid great?
He hasn't been. Because he hasn't
been
healthy.
The same way KD's not legendary is the same way Embiid's not a superstar because he doesn't play well in the playoffs. He
hasn't been healthy, so I don't know. We're just gonna.
He's never gonna be.
With Embiid, we just have to let it
go. Joel, that statement needs to go because you said the same shit about Anthony.
When has he been healthy?
Why can't he have his opinion?
But because again, it's not. He hasn't
been healthy since 2019.
And AD was healthy this year. Is he gonna be healthy the next 5 years? He's gonna be healthy down the stretch.
You said that he's not gonna be. You said that was wrong. That was wrong.
Okay, the next 5 years.
Next year Embiid has not been healthy since 2019.
Agreed.
So
agreed.
I was right. I'm gonna be right for 5 fucking years. Embiid might be healthy for one run, but then he could get hurt.
You guys are gonna make me the biggest fucking 76er fan next
season.
Lock
in. Sixers Nation. You're gonna be disappointed as fuck.
Yeah, bro. You're gonna see the same.
Y'all had the same conversation about Anthony Davis.
That's why it for 3 years and we were wrong for
fucking
1 year.
One? Fucking lazy.
The last 2 years, we said Anthony Davis can't stay healthy, and he was not healthy.
And then
now
he's healthy
y'all
this year. Y'all shut it down again, but he was
still inconsistent offensively every other game.
But the argument is, when he's healthy, he plays great.
We never pushed back.
Okay, but you said that he won't be healthy. So then that automatically got shut down when he was healthy this year. True or false?
Yeah, this 1 year, yes.
It's lazy to say Embiid won't be healthy.
Yes, it's lazy.
It's just historical. He's not healthy.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is
you're banking on a guy who's getting older, who's over 7 foot, who has this. Yes, he's 29. He missed the first 2 years of the league because of injuries. His body's been failing since he was 20 years old.
Again, but my whole point is you guys are saying he's not a superstar. That's the whole issue.
First of all, only one person said it, and that was him.
This guy seems to be backing it up.
No, we haven't. Me and him haven't said anything. He doesn't.
Is Joel Embiid a superstar to you, Joel?
If he is, he's bottom tier. He's like bottom.
That's fine though. I'm fine with that.
Raven Dehls, can we not agree that there's different tiers to?
No, of course there is.
So I want to get a roundtable opinion on this because
you just told me he's not.
I don't think he's in that tier.
See, he doesn't think so.
He's a bottom tier superstar.
What's up? Talk to me.
Jimmy Butler superstar? Yes or no?
Tier 2.
Bottom tier.
Yes. I will put him in
so what would you classify that as? Like the name and the umbrella?
Devin Booker,
yes.
Joel Embiid.
Yes.
I think Tatum's at the top of that.
Okay.
I don't know if I think LeBron is still. I think he teeters into both of them.
He's just one of those guys.
I would put AD also in there.
You would call Jimmy a superstar right now.
Like Riff said, bottom tier superstar.
That's for me. I got the superstar players. You have Jokic, you have Steph, you have Giannis, Luka, gotta be in there.
Yeah,
as well.
I don't put him in the. He teeters in both too.
Who, Luka?
Yeah, he teeters in both too.
Luka,
I feel like him and Tatum teeter. Him and
There it
Tatum
is.
teeter.
That's
can
why
him and
I
Tatum
love
teeter.
your statement, because Tatum, I agree, needs to be grouped with
Yeah,
Luka.
they both teeter.
I can
Booker to a
understand-
degree also teeters.
I can understand why you say that.
He has his moments.
Those are the guys I view as like legit superstars. Those are the only ones that I'm comfortable that I can really lead a team to.
I think Jimmy stays at the bottom of it.
That's what I'm saying. And Jimmy in this run was getting put in that group of guys.
I agree.
People were talking
That
about.
was ridiculous, though.
Yeah, he's talking about the media.
I mean, that's the whole argument, though. Like talking about how ridiculous it is, put him in that tier. And
that wasn't our argument.
people was talking about Jimmy Butler being better than the best Miami Heat of all time with no championship.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
Just don't
Who the
bring
hell
that
said
here.
that?
Just don't bring that here.
Yeah, I see
That's
that
I'm
shit.
just
It
saying.
was
I'm
disrespect to
just saying.
D-Wade.
Okay, it's nonsense, but that's what the talk around Jimmy has been. So we cannot just dismiss what the talk has been around Jimmy and then give him a pass. If he wants to get that, if people are putting him in that same tier, he gets that same criticism, and that's all this argument has been.
If none of us say it, I feel like the talk can be kind of brushed aside, or like we could talk about it briefly.
That's
but
why
nobody in here was saying he was a Heat legend or saying he's better than Michael.
My
like
conversations
Jimmy Jordan
strictly are about what we talk about. What we talk about on the outside, we bring in here, so we laugh about it.
My initial statement was
Heat fans are really wild.
My initial statement is that Jimmy Butler is not one of the greatest playoff performers of generation. Because
we can have a conversation about that.
Even if you want to,
just had one. I'm not having it.
Even if you want to be like, there's 10 guys in that. Rev,
talk to me.
You're a basketball historian. Who are the greatest?
It's always an intro.
Who are the greatest playoff performers of the 2000s?
Shaq, Tim Duncan. I'm just naming names. Steph, KD, Kobe, of
2000s,
course.
not 2010.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, KG, Kobe, Tim Duncan. You got to put Shaq in there. Wayne Wade, of course. You can. I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Would you put LeBron in there?
Doesn't get that.
I'm sorry. Yes, LeBron. Help me if you can. LeBron. Dirk. No.
Made it to the finals in 2006. Won the MVP in 2007. Yes,
I would say he's at the bottom. I would say he's like at the bottom.
Dirk 2011 saved his run. We're talking about strictly 2000s.
I said Dunk, of course.
I don't know if I was
Dirk was still a superstar. Was the MVP. Went to the finals.
Tim Dunk is my first four names.
If you were in that time in the 2000s,
you could say Tony Parker too, low key.
Steve Nash wasn't a superstar also.
Yes, Steve Nash was
in the playoffs.
He went to the WCF, did he not?
His numbers are
one of the greatest players.
No. I would say you can argue Tony Parker, but not Steve Nash.
That's what I'm saying.
You said playoff performers?
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. All those guys that you mentioned that we know we're certain of all got a championship or were just so phenomenally great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Jimmy Butler is in that conversation when we talk about this era. He's just not. Jimmy Butler's one of those back half guys that when we talk about this era of basketball, we're like, remember Jimmy Butler? Yeah, he was really good, wasn't he? That's how we talk about him. We don't talk about him when we say, Steph, these were the faces. The faces are the ones that are the greatest performers of those generations. The faces. Am I wrong by saying that?
No.
It's the faces.
That's more because of the fans being casuals. But yeah, I agree with you. You're spitting right now.
It's the faces. And Jimmy Butler
fans being casual saying what he's saying.
Like casual fans are saying like they're not gonna remember Jimmy. And all
That's
that.
just thank you for saying that, bro. Because we're not fucking casuals.
No,
I'm not saying us. I'm not saying us.
I understand that, but you're saying that when we talk about that, we're not gonna overlook Jimmy.
No,
Butler.
he's talking about the
we
general.
Won't do
he's
that.
saying the general public.
Jimmy is not a face of this generation, and when we talk about the greatest performers of this generation, he's not.
No,
he's not.
I'm with you.
Not a face.
We gonna remember him and say, yeah, he was great.
But I want to say this to play a little devil advocate. Neither was Jason Kidd. In his two finals, get remembered. Neither was Steve Nash. But yet his offense gets remembered. There is a lot of guys who weren't the faces and they get remembered.
They got remembered. Like Jason Kidd.
Fair, though.
Jason Kidd's two finals runs got remembered.
So Jimmy, man.
We don't talk
Are we
about
talking about Jason Kidd like Tim Duncan? Fuck no. That's the
Do
same
we
shit.
say
We're not talking about
Jason
Jimmy
Kidd-
Butler like Steph.
Do we say
that's the thing, guys.
You say
That's
one of
what
the best
no.
generation.
do we say Jason Kidd is one of the best performers of his generation?
No, I don't think
we don't say that. You got
one of the best leaders
win.
for sure, not best. Nah.
Like we're gonna remember Jimmy Butler, but he's just not in that tier.
So
of guys.
AI, no.
Ooh, I forgot AI.
He had one run.
Oh,
got it. His efficiency was not that good in that finals.
It was not.
Hey.
But hey, that's what I don't want to do.
He was playing with bums. No, he was playing with legit.
They were not good.
They weren't good.
They were not good.
But question.
He was 6 feet. Come on.
But
Going
question.
up in the trees.
Is Allen Iverson remembered as a face because of what he contributed to winning, or because of what he meant to the culture of basketball?
Both.
No,
it was more so the culture.
It was more the culture.
It was both.
But he was
MVP.
Trust me.
What does that have to do with Riv?
I want you to go look back at the Sixers. The 0-1 run was really the only time they went far.
I did. No, trust me.
Drew, I'm going to be honest. If you really think it's both you're being a casual, it's 100%
What do you mean? He was amazing at basketball.
People think he's overrated in the game, bro.
That's
ridiculous to say. He's remembered most for his cultural impact, bro.
No, I'm not. All right, I'm saying both because that's what he's both. So he's not remembered for being good at basketball.
No, I'm not saying that.
That's what I'm saying.
He's really remembered for his.
He's not remembered as one of the greatest performers of that generation.
People call him overrated all the time.
My dad used to tell me all the time, and hey, whatever you want to say about my dad, it's up to you. I'll take my man's word because he taught me a lot about the game. For years, what he told me was that Allen Iverson was the best point guard at finishing at the rim because of his size.
Yeah, but
his ability to finish at the rim for his size was amazing.
Allen Iverson in the 2000s career flamed out. He went to Denver, did not win at all there.
You're not wrong, but what you're not understanding is your dad is older than us in our generation. When we talk about meaningful, we're talking about the guys coming up in the next step. Allen Iverson gets pushed more for his cultural impact. He does not get pushed more for his I'm not saying he's not a great player.
People have him as the number 4 shooting guard of all time.
People have Harden.
Harden's
you know what's crazy? These last couple
people have said he's overrated
for years. That's what it was supposed to be. Harden was supposed to take that forward.
Well,
as years has gone on, all I've heard is that Allen Iverson's number 4 and number 5 is probably that James Harden.
Oh, I've heard differently. So maybe,
but ultimately, Allen Iverson in that era was not.
Listen, I know obviously the history of Allen Iverson. He's amazing at basketball. Of course, what he means to the culture, absolutely. But that's why I say both.
AI gets a lot of hate now,
which is ridiculous. Allen Iverson, read a fucking book.
Allen Iverson, that generation was a face. We talking about in totality what he meant to that era for sure. I agree with you. When we're just strictly talking about was he one of the best performers in the playoffs for that generation? AI is not brought up like that, bro. He is not.
I disagree, man. All people say is, hey, whenever we talk about get me one, who's the first person they mention? The first person they mention is Allen Iverson because he got you one against the quote-unquote unbeatable 0-1
Can you name me
Lakers.
Another moment?
In terms of what?
You're cooked.
In a playoff series.
He was great that entire postseason, honestly.
Can you name me those
teams he had a 50. I think I can, actually, because I just looked it up.
Better not say crossing MJ.
No.
Everybody knows that moment.
I want to say this is a shame, man. All right, you got me because I don't want to waste time. I want to say it was the Bucks.
The Bucks was a great series. He was pretty inefficient though. Fucking inefficiency sometimes. Go get it.
I'm blanking.
Bag work. Go get a win.
I know it was the Bucks for sure. I think that was the series that he dropped.
I think that was the ECF.
Next
pretty
day,
sure.
Yeah.
The Bucks and Sixers was the ECF.
Toronto, that's one.
Oh, he outplayed
Vince
Carter. Yes.
All I'm saying is that in that era,
I forgot that
he had one run, but outside of that, there was nothing there. Like, he could have had a great run, but as one of the best performers in the playoffs in that generation, he was not that. And that's with respect to Allen Iverson. That's with respect, but he just was not one of those guys.
I think he was.
He's a superstar player.
That's our conversation.
But Jimmy Butler's not him.
He's done more than Embiid.
Oh, absolutely. I'm fine with you. I'm fine with that.
A lot of people done more than Embiid.
Historically, you're taking Allen Iverson. He's a more
Paul George is not a superstar to you, right?
He was at one point.
I'm saying now.
Right now, no.
He's probably done more than Embiid in the playoffs.
I agree.
Led more
We're
teams
talking about
Embiid.
right now. Paul George was a superstar at one point in his career. Absolutely.
Jalen Brunson has went to the same spot as Joel Embiid has been fighting to get out of.
Okay, again,
as the number one.
You're really, really being critical of his injuries. He's been injured for the last 4 years.
I just look at it as like everybody's injured at the end of the year. Everybody. Whoever gets into the postseason, everybody's banged up.
We're gonna have different definitions on this superstar.
That's a fine, fair. That's a statement. That's fair. But he played through it. He would still play through. But
I hate that for him because he doesn't play that well through it.
He doesn't.
We're gonna have different definitions on a superstar thing. My whole thing was one of the greatest in the generation playoff performers. I don't think Jimmy Butler's that. I don't think Allen Iverson was that in that era. And even a guy like Tracy McGrady, was he a superstar? Yes. Was he that in the playoffs? No. It's unfortunate, but he was not that. So that's just, I separate them into different groupings. That's where I'm trying to meet you eye to eye with.
I got you.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I still would stand on the hill that, in my opinion, he's still one of the best of our generation. I've seen him do it for multiple playoff series. He wasn't great this finals, but I would say he was great in that 2020 finals. Yes, it's a what have you done for me lately? That's fair. He was not great. But for the majority of this postseason run, he was amazing. And last year, he was amazing. He missed a game-winning shot. You want to hold that against him? I get it. I hold it against. Stop it. I was told.
We agreed on 2. Because one of them he left.
He got
He
injured.
didn't come back to second half.
He was injured that series.
Me and you, man to man, we agreed on 2.
He was injured that series, and people still have chatter that he was better than Tatum that series.
Tatum, I think
and not
Tatum,
just
Tatum
Joel
is
saying
the
that.
problem with Tatum and Butler is like Tatum is more consistent. Butler's highs are just better than Tatum's.
It's
So it's like
higher highs, lower
yeah,
lows.
when they play, it's kind of like weird because it's like which one do you want, the
Tatum's
consistent?
giving you the 25,
Yeah, or
28,
do you want the
30,
high? Like
you
it's
give him 14 or 44.
I think, like I said, I think the Jimmy Butler conversation is just a product of miscommunication and people putting him in a conversation he shouldn't be in. I think it's right and it's fair that he gets criticized. I 100% agree. He deserves to be criticized. And he got way off P comments and he wasn't the best player. So I think Jimmy Butler rightly deserves to get criticized. But I also think we need to stop letting Heat fans or outside media put him in this conversation where he shouldn't be in. It's okay that he's not one of the 7 best players in the world. That's fine. It's an elite league. There's elite talent. But he's still one of the best 15 players in the world, and that's okay.
That's valid.
And he should still be criticized because he can come back and bounce back next year. We've seen him do it. So I think just the conversation is really just miscommunication and a lack of just context and putting him in places he shouldn't be.
AI for his career averaged 27 points per game.
No, he was a bucket.
In the
like,
playoffs.
He was a walking, literal bucket. Like, you put a bucket next to him. And
27 in that era is still elite.
He was just
Respect
super
him.
inefficient.
Because he was by himself.
Well, he also took a lot of shots. And he had no 3 ball.
In that finals, the efficiency was not good, but still,
I'm with you.
the points per game were crazy.
Eric Snow. Aaron
Outside of the 2001 run, the most games he played in the playoffs was 12. Outside of that. So
Okay.
he was one round, second round kind of exit guy.
His teams weren't good, especially in Philadelphia.
He went to Denver, though, and with Carmelo could not win.
But didn't they go to the...
Chauncey.
Wasn't that the Western?
No, Chauncey.
Chauncey.
That
You're
got
right.
him to the
You're right.
WCF.
That also knocked Allen Iverson's legacy because they couldn't win with him.
Chauncey
and
was
then
a better
they won with
leader.
But that was also right before the end of his career.
No, he was still a
He was still a
27
27 guy.
Yeah, he was like
No, I got you. But I'm saying he was
after that, it was
basically
kinda
done
like,
after that.
Yeah, because the
Chauncey was the guy that
reputation
got him.
around the league for him just went.
Chauncey
downhill.
actually helped Melo elevate his game.
Chauncey was a great player that you wanted on your team in terms of playing winning basketball.
You guys would win every year if you had him. Swear to God.
Prime
What are you
Chauncey
saying, on the
instead of
Celtics?
Marcus.
I thought you meant as a coach.
No, like over Marcus Smart.
No, as a
100%.
coach, he's mid. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I would rather have Chauncey Billups than Marcus Smart. I don't think anyone.
I'm
That's
glad
not
you.
crazy to say.
I tried to catch you being a casual. You didn't get caught.
I like Marcus Smart. I'm not infatuated with him taking over Chauncey.
Chauncey's a great player.
Austin Reeves or Marcus Smart?
You have to stop. Please.
Generational efficiency.
Yo, enough.
Now the WCF run was hilarious.
Thank you.
He laughed at it. No, it's laughable.
Because it's like he's seeing like Reeves.
It's like
them.
it's laughable how many open shots he really got.
It's not true.
Yeah,
So it's like, yo, did you see a lot of open looks from Reeves in the WCF?
No, like what the fuck are we doing here?
Hey,
Stop
he's
it.
getting
Stop
100
it.
million for it, so I respect it.
Hey,
Listen, he's
man.
getting the bag.
I'm just-
But
Generational
with bags
efficiency.
come expectations.
Agreed.
And I'm gonna say
There's
this:
expectations.
if Reeves gets the bag, he plays like shit. I will not let this guy.
Is there
Are you
anyone
hoping
else
for
you're
that?
praying on their downfall? More
I'm actually
next year
not
than
praying
Austin
on Reeves' downfall.
Oh, I'm shocked.
You know who I'm?
Here's
Whose
the thing.
downfall I'm praying on?
People, if you thought I was praying on Jordan Poole's downfall, you're out of your mind.
I didn't think you were.
All right,
praying on
good.
him.
I'm glad
I just
you
thought you
were.
were doing a little bit of too much.
Take it
You're
easy.
Doing a lot of that, way too much. But no, I'm not praying. Only guy I'm praying on their downfall is Harden again.
I mean, you don't have to do much.
Well,
praying.
listen, bro. If he's in Philly, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I love
I'll
to
be
see
a fan of his.
I love to see him fall down and then him make excuses. It's funny. You know.
You see the hype, especially during the season.
Then he
I don't
he
even,
comes in
I don't,
here.
I don't even get hyped for Harden.
No, you
in the
did this
playoffs
year.
anymore.
No, you did. You did.
No, I did not.
You did. No, you
I
did.
don't think I
Both
did.
of you guys did.
I had the Celtics winning in 5.
Yeah, no, you did. But I'm saying in the middle of the year,
Yeah.
5. In the middle, no, because Embiid was hurt. He did. In the middle of the year, you got a little excited about Harden
Dude
for
had
a
an
little
out.
bit. Yeah, I'm a little excited
Oh,
about
a
him.
little bit. You know,
get you a little
every,
excited.
every once in a while, I get a little juiced up. You know what I'm saying?
Bad
Put up
juice.
those
Not your
crazy
favorite
regular season
player.
numbers.
I get a little juiced up.
Bad
He has
juice.
a great February performance. I'm
Off
like,
with
this might be
juice.
the year.
Yeah,
Then, you know, playoffs come around. I see game 1. I'm like, same shit.
they beat the
It's the
Celtics with like
same
Jalen
thing.
Brown and Rob.
I mean, he did the first game of the Celtics. He moved a lot. He moved the
did.
shit
Nah,
out
he
of
was- he
people.
had me.
Like he had people.
I was ready.
fooled, bro. It was like, oh, wait a minute.
I was
You know
thinking
why?
it was a
It's
run.
because he was kind of mid against the Nets, and then for
He was
him
chilling.
to bug.
Maxey was the best player.
And everyone was
against the
expecting
Nets.
us to
Maxey was
smoke them
the best
game
player against the Celtics, arguably.
Listen, he's about to get a bag.
You're
too.
not wrong. Yeah,
OD,
He was the most
bro.
consistent. At
He's
least.
about to get a bag too.
Maxi facts.
He is.
So off that debate, we're going to read super chats and then we're going to get out of here.
That was an hour.
So
hey, that was lit. We said it. 4 topics.
Yeah, we said it's going to be discussed.
Well done, bro. You've been manifesting this shit for a while now.
What did I keep saying?
Oh, less topics,
more combo. Look, it's the same shit, bro. I'm telling you.
You guys were screaming at each other. I was here like, damn, I don't.
Dehls was getting red.
You know what I do love though? I'll say this.
I'll be honest.
Joel, I hope you feel the same the way I do. Nah, bro. Because we really can get like that. And then the conversation's over, and now I'm back to smiling. I'm still in a good mood. Like that's just the
shut up. I
love this show.
He's banging on the table.
No, I can never hate any of you guys.
The peaking of the pounding of the table was.
He always knocks that shit.
No, I was genuinely getting upset because I could not speak.
He said,
I was getting so angry.
Nah, bro.
You guys do that to each other all the time, both ways.
Yeah.
No, I will be quiet because he will talk over me. Can't yell.
He talks over everybody.
Bro, I'll be getting amped up when I'm in the zone, and then Jules is trying to stop me from talking, bro. Like I remember the Mahomes debate.
That one was legendary because you're just like, dude, this is done. Bye. No, and that's it. You turned it off.
Was it?
No,
no, that was Patreon.
No, the Mahomes. That was a Matt Ryan one. I'm talking about the Mahomes debate. Was when we're debating if he was a Hall of Famer.
Oh, facts. That was on the pod. Yeah. I didn't think that one was that crazy though.
No, it wasn't that crazy, but it was.
No, the Matt Ryan one was worse.
That was heated.
Because you legitimately were just like, it's over.
He
done.
He just hit the record button, stopped. I was like, what the fuck, bro?
For real.
And then, bro, he was getting to like 2 hours of this shit.
That was when I had to tell him straight up.
It was a Patreon episode, bro. We were really arguing like 50 minutes. I was sitting here with my phone, not even looking at them. I was pissed off.
I gotta go rewatch. I'm gonna see how that.
I legitimately had to tell him after. I'm just like, bro, the show is over.
Yeah,
and that was it.
No, but the Mahomes debate, I remember when I was like talking, I was like, animated, like, no, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He was like, stop.
Oh, I did say that. I definitely did. Just
I don't think that's what people realize, though. I think like people think that like
I said, lower your tone.
I think I think people realize that like we get off the show and we like hate each other, bro.
No.
Like even with these debates,
how
debates can happen, and then it doesn't matter.
Work with someone consistently and not like them.
This is the same thing with just
you love me.
This is just lunchroom debates. You in the cafeteria, you debating. But I agree. I think we should have shorter topics, longer discussions, unless there's a lot of things going on that we just
that's way different. That's way different.
But like right now, there's no news. There's no reason to put filler topics in.
It's like when we were talking about the point guards list, in my head, I was like, yo, damn, we probably should wrap this up. And then I thought, I was like, yo, we don't need to because we have no more topics really.
This is from Matthew Miller.
Trae Young at 10.
Who ends their career as a better player all time? Luka, Jokic, or Giannis?
Jokic.
Ooh, Jokic right now's got it.
Fuck. Ooh, I didn't hear Giannis. I thought it was just gonna be Luka or Jokic.
Jokic got two MVPs. He's got the finals. The Depoy, if you want to argue that, sure.
It would be hilarious if Luka just jumped ships both of them 10 years down the line.
He could.
I would go Joker.
Lost me.
I think the continuity is there with Denver. They're younger. They're fresher. Giannis got some old dudes next to him.
From a production standpoint, not accolades just yet. But from a straight production standpoint, Luka is on pace to be better.
Production.
Is he more productive than Jokic?
No.
In his first 5 years.
I would say at his age.
All right.
I don't like to do the age thing.
I don't either, but I get it because Luka's 24.
Joker's low-key an elite defender.
I'm going to be honest, man.
If he plays like this defense in the postseason every year.
Might be better than Giannis.
No, it's
Jokic,
not a mic.
Yes.
He's
Are you saying all time or just right now?
You know what? You're one of the people.
No, right now, like
you're one of the people I subbed because you're pissing me off. You still continue to do this shit. You told me he would stop.
Listen, Jokic, I think is the best.
He told me he would stop, and then he keeps doing it.
Here I am, bro. Jokic is the best in the world.
Yeah, and then next week you'll be like, I don't know, I still got my guy.
No, he was ridiculous.
45%.
What did he shoot in the playoffs? Over 40% for sure.
On some real nuts.
Did you see his defense?
It was. I said it when I was giving him his praise. Less than 40%.
Jimmy said his defense is elite.
Yeah, I mean the knock always was Giannis has the defense. Well, now I don't know.
But Jokic probably won't ever win Depoy.
Doesn't need to.
I'll be honest.
Tim Duncan never won.
I think the answer is Jokic.
Yeah, I mean Jokic has
heartbreaking.
As long as you're elite in the playoffs.
But all time right now, the answer is still Giannis.
This from Aiden Ramirez. I couldn't leave here without asking a hard-hitting question. Now that the finals are over, where do these NBA playoffs rank all time for y'all?
This is a fun playoffs.
It's cool.
It was a fun playoffs.
The
finals was mid. And I meant to say this earlier. I'm sorry. I was here from the matchup. It was boring.
Yeah, I mean, three of the games were 10+ points.
Unfortunately, I did not watch the first half of that last game.
Well, just in the last 5 years.
You didn't show up to playback either.
I told you I wasn't. Did I not say?
I don't remember you saying you were.
I said I wasn't coming. I couldn't watch.
I didn't hear you say
I had to watch Band Masterclass by myself.
Okay, well, in the last 5 years, I think 2019 Kawhi is number one in terms of.
Oh, we're ranking the last 5. Fine.
We're not doing it, but just in comparison.
I'll tell you what, 2021 was fun.
With
Milwaukee versus the Nets was an amazing series.
It was.
I was interested because the Hawks were such a surprise. I still appreciated it.
To me, I still
think
that
finals was great.
I still think Warriors and Kings was the best series this year. To me, I still have that as the best.
I'm with you.
Yeah. That shit was just too good.
And then look at the Western Conference. The Clippers beating the Jazz. That was a great series. A fun series even the
Suns
to watch.
And Clippers was
Suns
really
Clippers was a very good series to watch. The
Clippers
finals
and
was
Mavericks
very
was really good.
I think personally, I get it. I think 19 should be one.
19 was fun.
You weren't expecting the Raptors to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have to put 2021.
It's also just the Bucks, Raptors, Sixers,
Raptors and Sixers,
the Warriors, the Warriors and Rockets.
The Raptors and Sixers was
the
crazy.
Blazers and Nuggets.
That was
even
great.
Was that the Nuggets and the Spurs too? That was also a really underrated series too. That went 6-7 games.
Yeah, it was.
That was underrated.
Good. I think
2020.
It was Aldridge and DeMar.
And DeMar,
and
facts.
DeJounte.
2020, the bubble, I would probably put like number 5 in terms of just
I liked it, but I can't get with the no fans. I need to jump up and shit.
Where were last year's playoffs?
I heard the ball bouncing too much.
I enjoyed last year's playoffs. I'll say this though: the bubble had really good series.
No, it did.
That Dallas,
Dallas Clippers was great
insane.
basketball.
That was insane.
Fire.
Utah versus the Nuggets, amazing.
Clippers. Raptors versus Boston was tough.
That was a great series.
That shit was so
Heat
ugly
Boston
and fire,
was a good
bro.
series too.
Yes.
None of the Lakers series were
Rockets
good,
OKC in the first round was great.
Rockets OKC was a beautiful series. I just can't keep hearing the ball bounce.
Lakers,
they had people on the screen. It just was aggravating. I was like, bro, just let them hoop.
But it was very good basketball. To be fair.
Great basketball. But I think like a combination of basketball and the environment, 2019, 2021.
Because that was the first year that fans could come back to.
2021 was
This
fire.
was a great playoff run too, though. We had good matchups every round.
I feel like the matchups died as the thing went on.
Yeah,
I'm wrong for saying I'd rather the bubble than this year.
No.
Okay. I'm wrong for saying I'd rather
round
the bubble
one
than
was
last year.
The best. It was probably the best round of all.
I think the
of them
only
this year.
wrong one is saying bubble over 2021.
Agreed. I have the bubble third.
We
In
also
2019.
saw Nuggets came
Agreed.
back 3-1 too, both times in the bubble.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's why I have bubble third because I think that basketball
Last
was
year for
just
me,
so
I'm just
pleasing.
gonna put 1. I'm sorry.
I get it.
Yeah.
All we got to.
That's why bubble. I'm trying to move it higher and higher and higher.
The answer to this question is just these playoffs were good. I don't want to say like great or
Nothing
anything.
legendary.
After the first round, we were saying this might be the best we've ever seen. But
It
then
was really
it
good.
did die down. Did die down.
Because the injuries ruined the Clippers and Suns. That shit would have went 6-7 games. It would have been crazy.
We thought Warriors
Lakers
Lakers was
lit.
disappointing.
Yeah,
as
we thought
shit.
coming in
because Clay wanted to act like
the Warriors were
Asala
dog shit.
Umdala, and then he started shooting. Like he started shooting up gunshots.
Oh my
So
goodness
question,
gracious!
does Jamal Murray clear Klay Thompson as a co-star?
Clear? I mean,
No.
Clay in his prime now.
Who you asking?
I don't
Because
know
me.
that.
Oh my god, you're just a fake fan.
Actually,
Prime Clay? I don't think.
What is prime Clay? Now let's dig into it a little bit. Have y'all actually ever looked at Clay's actual playoff numbers as a number 2?
They aren't as good as you think it would be.
It's really what people say, and then what the actual result.
So you
and
take
product
Jamal
is.
over him as number 2?
Probably not. I'll probably have to see a little bit more.
Especially defensively.
Clay
Clay
has-
those years.
Unfortunately, he has 4 rings.
Yeah, I mean, that's Jamal's on his way.
You heard me say unfortunately. Yeah, he unfortunately has 4 rings, but no.
His averages didn't drop much when KD came.
I don't think Jamal would fit next to Steph better than Clay though.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they're a perfect pairing. Like they just.
I don't know, bro. The way that he could also shoot off the catch. Jamal,
No, but he
I'm
don't. But
saying,
Jamal.
it's nothing like Clay.
Jamal likes to do pick and rolls a lot. Clay just.
How would Clay look like?
But
with
why
Jokic?
wouldn't
Clay next to Joker would be fire?
But why wouldn't Murray be able to work in Golden State? Because you guys they really
No, we
work
don't run
off
a lot
pick
of
and
pick.
rolls.
We don't run a lot of pick and
Or
rolls.
screens.
Yeah, we don't run a lot of pick and
Excuse
rolls.
me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not a lot. It's a lot of handoffs, but it's more like.
Like I've seen Jamal Murray cook us off handoffs.
Yeah, but he doesn't do it. He gets tired a lot too.
Okay.
His
Motor.
stamina isn't like Clay or Steph's. They run all day.
So
My mom
Ali-
just texted me. If you guys are interested, she goes, "I want to punch the guys right now."
But what we,
She goes, "I wish that we had a stenographer to go back and see what you said."
Ali Perez goes, not to disrespect Shea, but aren't we overrating him a little early? This feels like Bradley Beal a couple years back. Need more years under his belt.
With respect, who's the name? I'm sorry, who?
Ali Perez.
Ali Perez. With love and respect, brother. SGA's him.
He's different.
Who's this right now?
Klay Thompson playoffs.
So let me ask you this though: if we're talking, if like
Really
in your
good.
point guard rankings, with your point guard rankings, you valued playoff performance and consistency
to a degree, yes.
Wouldn't Trae Young be over SGA at that point then?
I think with the conversation, sorry, my phone. That's like a focus.
See, that's one where you combine the two, right? And where SGA was just so much significantly better than Trae this season. It's a combination of the projection. What have you done, and what have you done for me lately?
Still overachieved.
That's the name that if you would have had Trae anywhere better than 10, King, that's the one thing that caught us all off guard. Use SGA as opposed to Tyrese.
I think with SGA, the difference between him, it's like SGA, like he arguably had the best point guard season in the NBA this year. You know, but I think with the situation with him is OKC, like you mentioned with the Pacers, because you valued what he did with the Pacers. So with OKC, they weren't projected to be where they were at. Not to mention, he was probably outside of Fox, the most dominant finishing guard in the NBA. On top of that, he was a really pesky defender, and he pretty much backpacked them to a play-in win. And I value that over, certain guys who, made the playoffs and they lost in the first round, because what he did was, one, it was unexpected, and two, like the trajectory of how he did it was pretty amazing. So that's why I had him so high, because it was just such of an elite season, and you got to factor in where the team was. Like Atlanta was supposed to be good this year.
You got DeJounte,
yeah, and Indiana, I thought about it. I just think what caught us off guard was not Hallie at 8, was more Trae at 10.
That's really what it was.
That was the thing.
But I think outside of Hallie, every name is over Trae.
I think Brunson's a conversation. I think Hallie's a conversation. I think Trae was just in the conversation with Jamal Murray. So I don't think you can swindle him out of that one, because Ja wasn't that good against the Lakers.
Trae was bad enough this past season and in the playoffs to justify dropping him. You had him at 1 all the way down to 10.
I'm just looking at him. He's a bottom 3 defender, and he's a ball hawk.
He was a bottom 3 defender last year when he was number 1 overall for you.
There's a lot of point guards that didn't have this type of season.
But we're talking about like 3 or 4 guys.
Jimmy Butler?
Dame ain't play, and she ain't have the season.
Two.
I'm just looking at
cooked.
She cooked.
My mom just fucking went
said
crazy.
Patrick Ewing is the Jimmy Butler of this era. Cook. Now, that's valid.
She just dropped Wilt numbers.
That's cooked.
I guess I don't get it from my dad. I get it from my mom.
Patrick Ewing is the Jimmy Butler is the Patrick Ewing of this era. I said it.
You taking the credit?
Stop it. This is a Rachel Velez stamped. Yo, you better give her some credit.
Now that's fire. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm with that. Patrick Ewing didn't get properly overrated or underrated. He was properly rated. I think the problem with Jimmy is
he live in social media era, and that's the issue.
Even Knicks fans, though, like, because my dad lived in New York when he and my mom did too. They didn't overrate Ewing. They kind of knew what he was, but he brought heart and soul.
Absolutely.
He was always there for them. He was available for them.
Guys are perennial playoffs.
Yeah, so they was
just guys. You know what I mean?
They just roll. Like, even with their teams, they like the players they had. They didn't overrate the players. They just roll with the players they had because they were rough dogs.
Damn, my mom ethered. It's fucking nuts.
Cooked.
The statement you made about SGA and Trae, I think that's what you feel comfortable with doing.
Facts.
You feel comfortable projecting that for SGA.
Agreed.
And listen, I feel comfortable doing that too.
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable doing that with SGA than I do Tyrese for sure.
Yeah.
But I also feel comfortable with projecting Tyrese as well.
Right. That's exactly how.
Just because
that's the statement.
I mean, listen, I'm very fond of Trae Young, but how his play style is, I just don't
know if you are.
I just don't think it's indicative of winning. I don't.
We all do it differently. The way I do my list, I do it at the end of the year. I kind of use the other year before and then the last year, and then after that, I don't adjust my list until the end of the next season to see how all the endings looks. But if you guys are projecting, you think Hallie's going to be better than Trae?
Okay. I mean, Hawks were supposed to be better than they were this year.
I agree.
And also, listen, we didn't think that they'd win the first round of the play-in. They did. We didn't think that they'd give a good series against the Celtics.
They did.
Trae Young was amazing.
He was.
That's it.
Like game 1. Maybe.
That's to be fair to the Atlanta Hawks. And credit to
amazing.
OG, because OG said that it would be a good series, and I kind of scoffed at him.
We all
DeJounte also was amazing in that series too.
DeJounte was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
DeJounte was finally good for a playoff series.
Listen, he's
D-Lo
better than
still
D-Lo.
stinks.
Hey.
So I have no D-Lo ties anymore.
Oh, now I can see that.
Minnesota.
Once he left, went to the Lakers.
Bro.
Yeah, it's nuts.
The straw that broke the camel's back was when he said he couldn't be himself in Minnesota.
You mean when he got traded?
No.
Nah, that was unnecessary, bro. Because then after that, he was dead ass trash.
He was basically talking smack about how Minnesota, he couldn't be himself and stuff.
He was legitimate poopy.
That's your favorite team, not creating a good culture.
So you having Fox over John now, huh?
I like Fox more.
Okay. This is gonna be interesting. I gotta ride for my guy Ja.
I'm still here
I think
for
it's
Ja.
interchangeable.
Uncle Ruckus
I'm
goes
fair with
my
that.
superstar tier
He's been
rankings.
pushing
Tier
that for
1,
like 4 years.
all timers is Bron Steph. Tier 2, best of this generation, JT Embiid. Tier 3, great all stars, Trey and Shea.
So what was this? Superstar.
Just a
tiers?
superstar tier rankings.
I don't think you
tiers.
could put all timer as a tier 1, but I understand it's tier 1.
That's how like the way that I can compare is like when we talk about football, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady were always so hard for me to rank because they're all-time greats. You don't want to disrespect them and put them lower than where they should be. Obviously,
It's funny because we disrespect Westbrook. He's an all-time great.
Yeah, but it's different in that scenario.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
I think LeBron, like I said, is in the comfortable medium where he can still be a 1, but it can still be a 2.
Yeah.
He's very like, whatever you need me to be, I can be on that.
He said it too. I'm better than 90%. Shit, maybe even 95%.
He's not. He's spitting.
He's 100%. Correct.
He's still a top 10 player in the world.
Yes.
Top 8, 9.
Because LeBron cruising is better than 90% of the
Like
league.
we saw it, bro. He was
97%
playing on a
of the
torn
league.
ligament. He gave the Nuggets in game 4 30 in the first half.
Didn't he have like 0 in the 4th?
It was
He
not
was
good.
shit in the second
I didn't
half,
mean to do that.
That's okay.
Pick a side meme goes, this $20 is for Riv's Father's Day gift. Use it for a meal at McDonald's, LOL.
That's more than 3 McChickens, bro.
Well, that's a great meal for me. $20,
$20,
I'd
you're-
cook.
you're
That might be
running
two.
up.
That might be 2 trips.
It's too much.
Now, Uncle Ruckus goes start bench cut. Trey Young's defense, Ben Simmons shooting,
Screaming.
Julius Randle's playoff efficiency.
All
This
right.
is the worst start bench cut
Ben
ever.
Simmons cut.
No.
Ben Simmons cut.
Wait,
Ben
shooting.
shooting.
Oh, yeah, cut. That shit's gone. And I'm benching Julius Randle.
Yeah,
Are
I
we
would
starting
I would
Trae
start
Young's
Trey Young's
defense?
defense.
We are starting.
We just
I
gotta
think
hide him.
I'll live with
So-
Trey Young's defense if
yeah.
I get his offense.
Yeah.
I'll live with it.
Julius Randle, I cannot start him. He's benched.
Nah.
Ben's getting cut. He's basically a non-basketball player.
Is that
He's,
picture?
he's
edited
back
that's
next
still
year.
Going around?
No, it's from his Instagram.
Really?
Dog.
Those
We're
Julius
doing it
Randle
again.
played all
no,
right
I don't
against
care.
the Heat.
But his arms look
He
like
did.
not fucking human.
No, bro, he looks like a
Dog, we do this every year.
I'm not
Super
buying
Saiyan.
into it. I'm just saying.
I'm
his-
in.
his-
I'm back.
You need a comeback.
Well, I have to ultimately
should go back to
ride-
Philly and really just get
Get
it all together.
Be amazing. Written in the stars.
And this is it for episode 288 of the Pick a Side podcast. Make sure to like the stream,
Wait, pick a side
subscribe,
meeting said one more thing.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
Super chat.
yes, he did.
raise your hand if your NBA team won
John.
the finals in the last 10 years.
Let's do it, John. Oh, you're fucked. You're fucked.
I was rooting for the Raptors in
It's not your
2019.
team. It's your player.
All right, we're here. Huh?
Dude, you're not.
Sorry. You better grab a
Okay.
team now.
What about me? I'm cooked too? Oh, my God, you
What
lost
did you
me.
just say to me?
It's not your team. It's your player.
No, the words of my team. They have 8 of my players at this point. I'm locked in.
I don't rep another team other than the Lakers, bro.
You're a liar.
I know. It's just I'm not getting into it. I respect you. I don't respect him.
Yo, that's all right. Whatever.
So you guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod,
I
on
get why you don't
Instagram and
respect
TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast. Thank you for listening and or watching, and we'll see you next time.